8, 7, 6.
Previously on the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
They just put an Alexa inside of a sex doll. That's all they did.
Me, I want to learn Chinese.
Hey, Alexa, where can I buy a real-life sex doll?
I found a few options for that. There's 7-Eleven, 0.2 miles away on Cypress West. JCPenney.
That's why let me go to 7-Eleven all the time. Dang it.
And Dillard's, 1.1 miles away on...
You're listening to the Bubba the Love Sponge
Broadcast
Show.
rights for the Bubba the Love Sponge Show have been granted to this station by the Bubba Radio Network and is intended solely for the enjoyment of your listening audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or any other use of this production without the express written consent of the Bubba Radio Network is strictly prohibited.
You know, I mean, either would have shot the merch crate, or the merch crate would have shot him. Chances are I'm putting my money on the merch crate. Oh, hold on. This is
The hype train.
hold on. We got a hype train right now?
Right now.
Like, as soon as we get... I don't even got my mics adjusted. I didn't even get the right music for the start of the show, and they're hitting me with a hype right now?
Right now, Bubba's Mustard Hate Shirt, 1,000 bits. T-shirt, 1,000 bits.
They know we need to have a strong 3 days because we will be gone Thursday and Friday of our... This sounds bad, but this is kind of our first vacation of the summer. Most people have all of their summer vacationing done.
We're just getting started.
We're just getting started.
Yeah.
Sorry, but thank you for your generosity. Lummy, you're at 2. It's complete.
Yep.
I
Level
mean,
3.
it's also kind of, I wouldn't say rude, but kind of awkward to start to show off with a hype train. I'm not trying to be a dick or nothing, but, like, you know, we can't even get, like, we have to try to get our feet underneath us. You know what I'm saying? We've been gone all weekend.
Egg Pimp, 1,000 bits.
It's like you jump in the bedroom and you start right at Madeira Beach. It's like, no, you got to warm us up a little bit.
Right.
You got to let us get the coconut oil and slather up our pieces parts.
Solo
You can't
4.
dry. You just can't dry. Just throw it in dry.
5,000 bits.
It hurts.
Just spit on it and go.
Easy, Dan. You dirty spitter. Jesus. Is your spit even sexy, Dan? Is like even your spit, like, you know,
delicious.
When you were younger.
His spit has abs.
You're
Soon to be guaranteed locked in Hall of Famer. Hierarchy 65. 10.
Does that get
Hype
you
train
off?
complete.
Does that get you off?
Yes, it does. It got me. Got us off the hype train. Egg Pimp, 1,000 bits.
Dan spit even has abs.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, thank you for the I feel so used. I feel so, like, just spent.
I don't even think we started the show right with the
It's like
disclaimer.
I don't even think we did. You're right.
No,
You
it
know,
hasn't even started
we
yet.
haven't even really. You know what? We haven't even really officially started the show.
Broadcast rights for the Bubba the Love Sponge Show have been granted to this station by the Bubba Radio Network and is intended solely for the enjoyment of your listening audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or any other use of this production without the express written consent of the Bubba Radio Network is strictly prohibited.
It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show. There we go.
Ready for a snack and a nap now.
Oh, I really am. It's like you got your Niz way early, and now, you know, she's laying there beside you, and, you know, you got like another hour to go, but you're, you know, a little winky right now because, sorry.
T-shirt, 1,000
You got to
bits.
build back up.
Build back better.
You got to build back up the recoup. That's when you get the pump out. Did anybody pump over the weekend? I think that'd be a nice way to open the program. You know,
I did once.
Your pumping parameters. I think I did 2 times, actually.
Nice. I'm only one.
Lummy, you're one pumping?
Saturday, yeah.
Blitz?
This weekend, 0.
Oh, is there trouble in
You say that
paradise?
proudly, too.
No. I have not this weekend, but
Doesn't need
I'm going to make it up for I'm going to make up for it this week.
Did you say he doesn't need it? Real bitchy.
Why is that bitchy?
He doesn't need
It's not you
supporting
need it.
my man.
It's a workout regiment.
Yeah.
Dr. Dan did it twice.
My mistake.
It's not that any of us need it. It's
An enhancer.
It's a therapeutic,
Right.
It's a therapeutic muscle conditioner.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
It'd be the same as doing push-ups.
I'm gonna do some supersetting this week.
You are?
Yeah.
Dan, what did you do this weekend?
I chilled. I went to the neurologist Friday, and I have to get
do you still think you're goofed up a little
He's
bit?
in concussion protocol.
I'm on a concussion protocol. I'm on different medications.
We have a concussion doctor that's going to be on today. It's at 8 o'clock.
I know. I can't wait.
Let me give me that paperwork. Print it out for me.
Will do.
If you can.
Yes, sir.
Now, are you going to ask Dan? Can we ask? 1, I want to introduce you as a co-host, but 2, a plastic surgeon and a doctor, but 3, I want to introduce you to this guy as a former team. You were a former Buccaneer doctor as well, so you're very familiar.
And I was there when they were formulating all these concussion protocols too.
And he's currently concussed.
And I'm currently concussed.
Imagine that.
I have an MRI tomorrow.
Are you really concussed?
Yeah, they said I still have a concussion.
How can they tell?
Tests.
Like follow
Following
the
the
pin.
finger.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. I
That
was
stuff.
failing those things.
You were?
Yeah.
Because he was drunk.
Well, Dan, were you
I had
drunk?
Gatorade, a special Gatorade with me.
God.
Were you day drinking on
No,
Friday?
I never.
It's okay
Dude,
if
I
you
barely
were.
drink it at all.
Wine
Of
time.
course.
Yeah, you're not much of a drinker at all.
No.
I mean, you're kind of like me. You're not,
Yeah.
I'm not much of a drinker.
I'll drink every now and then. I drink a little bit Saturday
So
night.
you went Friday to the neurologist? And is it from the bike deal?
It's from the slipping on the fall and hit my head.
Oh my God! You're the most accident-prone, in-shape guy
It's
I
from
know.
his new Diaco lawsuit he's got going on.
Diaco v. Diaco and Diaco.
Yeah, with a Diaco kicker. So now, you mean from when the rug slipped out on you and you smacked your head and needed stitches?
Yes.
And the whole 9 yards.
Yes.
And then, but yet, went and had your very first, but yet nailed it like a pimp deposition.
Which I don't remember.
You don't?
Not really.
Oh.
I concuss myself every night with Ambien. I think that's what Ambien is it gives you a concussion.
Yeah.
So you can't remember. So you can't remember that?
Just bits and pieces, and still certain things really irritate me. Screens,
Dan,
flashing lights.
Life irritates you.
Slow drivers.
Slow cars.
I mean, Dan, when you're
New
filling out,
Corvettes that look
when
like
you're
a
filling out
Ferrari.
your form, you just need to put there's life irritates me.
She's like, "Have you been irritable lately?" I'm like, "Yes."
Yeah.
For the last 56
Stop asking me
years.
questions.
I don't know when you're not irritable, Dan. I mean, irritable is where you start.
Yeah, but it turned up a notch.
All right, so you go to the doctor
Like
on
intolerable.
On Friday. The neurologist.
Yes.
Do they put you in a dark room and start doing stuff like that?
No, she asked me a million questions. I had to write answers. Then I had to do follow the finger, and she was like, the thing that kept screwing me up.
Did you know that you're a doctor and you hate to write and you scribble? Did she know that?
Yes, but my clock was okay. I had to draw a clock with a certain time.
Okay, all right. Wow, I might be smarter than you.
I had to do some memory
He
stuff.
drew a clock and they put the Rolex logo in the clock too.
She was a little crowd in the middle.
Yeah.
It's not a Rolex.
Yeah.
I don't have to tell time if it's not.
This is a
draw.
black pen. Do you guys have any gold pens? I only
can't.
know gold watches.
When I draw watches, they must be Rolexes. If I was asked to draw a car, it would be a Ferrari.
Yeah.
If I'm asked to, draw a boat, it's going to be a yacht. If I'm asked to draw an airplane, it's going to be a G5.
Dan, you must be concussed. This watch you drew is a Casio.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You must
G-Shock.
be concussed with a T-side of Arness. You drew a Swatch watch.
I
Yeah.
just drew a digital watch.
So,
Oh, God. He's worse than I thought.
so you go Friday. They ask you to draw a clock. They ask you some questions.
The thing that screwed me up is okay, I have these two fingers up, and when I put my right finger up, I want you to look to the left side.
What?
Exactly.
No, hold on. I'm concussed.
Bubba's not concussed and he doesn't even know what to do.
Okay,
Yeah.
so she's like, okay,
I'm not
look.
really paying attention, but if it's just you and I in a room and you tell me what now, go ahead.
Okay, so you look at me. You look me in the eyes. I'm looking at the mic now. I'm gonna look at the
I need
camera
to
now.
probably look at you like in real life.
Right.
Like this.
So you
okay.
look at me, and then if I hold up my right finger, you look to my left hand. And if I hold up my left finger, you look to my right hand.
Okay.
I couldn't get that right.
All right, well, do it with me.
You gotta be right up in there.
Oh.
But you're supposed to look at my right hand.
I did. I'm looking right at
See,
you.
I can't tell. You're too far away. I can't even see what you're doing.
I nailed it, bitch. I'm just telling
So
you.
what were you
You're not
doing?
concussed. I was looking at the finger
Dan.
going up first.
Dan, even the dumbest human being we know, Lummy, could have passed that test.
Oh yeah, easy.
Except for if I hit him on the head
yearns-
first.
Hey, Lummy,
Let me hit him in the head.
Lummy yearns for those simple tests.
Yeah, exactly. I look right
Lummy,
when I look
Lummy
up.
would hope that DUIs or testing for DUIs would be that easy.
Go right to the left.
I mean, Lummy,
that's easy.
Dan, you were flunking that test?
Yeah, that was the one I was messing up.
For real?
Yeah, and the other thing was like she had a bunch of squares and triangles, and every time you saw a triangle, you had to say square, and every time you saw a square, you said triangle. Those things kept screwing me up. The opposite stuff.
Well,
I was frustrated
because you're to be working
Did you
on
go to
people?
Kush Con this weekend like me and Anna did?
Yeah, that's what I was
Are
thinking.
you on Delta 14s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a Delta 19 now.
So you go there Friday, and now they're saying like what? Like what's the treatment?
3 more weeks. Certain vitamins I got to be on. Coenzyme Q10.
Which vitamins do they want you on?
Well, coenzyme Q10, magnesium, and there's another one I never even heard of before. Took a picture of it.
And they want you to what? Just they think they can like naturally take care of this, like
It's probably
through herbs and spices.
Yeah, herbs and spices. Citicoline. It's not acetylcholine. It's just citicoline.
So some citicoline with some what other?
CoQ10 and magnesium.
And that's gonna fix this.
Well, that's the old school way of doing it. I think there's probably newer ways of doing it now, which we may learn today.
Do you have to roll around with one of those? Now the NFL during practice they got to put like these little foam deals on top of their helmets. Did you guys see
those
that?
things are weird looking.
Yeah, and I'm going to ask the doctor about that today, Lummy. And that is, I got to think that does help because it's adding like let me send me some footage of it if you can. It's mandated by the NFL that anytime you're practicing in any drill, you have to have these helmet bumper.
They're called the Guardian caps, I think it is.
And you got to have them on. Yes, you got to have them on. Or like it's a big truck, like it's a fine. Like if you don't have it on, it's a huge deal. Like they'll throw you out of the league and the whole 9 yards. And Dan, are you familiar with them?
I haven't worn one or haven't seen them practice with it.
You haven't seen them?
No.
This is all. Hold on here. Lummy, am I right though?
Everyone has to have it.
Like here's an example of what they look like. So they're Velcro. They're snapped onto your helmet. And they're like another layer. Like here's
protection.
Another layer. Oh, that's a different.
It looks like for the first 14 practice, they are required to wear those padded shells.
Here they are. This is a kind of I think a better picture of them right there.
What?
And so like Blitz, you don't even think about being on the practice field or being on this team if you don't have one of these on for practice. Like it's a zero tolerance. It's not like a mouth guard. If you got a mouth guard, they don't really. I don't even think
it's not that big. They're not gonna kick you off the field.
But if you don't have this on,
it looks like a water polo helmet.
Yeah, it's a thing, and it's called the Guardian.
Oh my!
Can you send me some video?
Yeah,
And so now we're snowflaking the NFL. They're making the NFL little Johnnies. Now, remember when you were a kid and you had that kid in your neighborhood whose mom was way overprotective, and she made him wear like a baseball helmet just to ride her bike.
Yeah,
it's a law now.
Yeah, I know, but back in the day, man.
No one did.
Nobody wore a helmet, and if you did, and your mom made you, you just completely bullied and clowned them.
Right.
You really did. You're like, hey, Cork, your mom can't see you. Take off that helmet and throw it in the bushes. We'll come back and get it later.
Right.
So this is
wearing padded shells on their helmets called Guardian caps. An example of the league's continued work to foster innovation that leads to better.
So this is an additional thing to the helmet?
Yes.
Yes, it goes on top of it.
I thought this was like if you're not going to wear helmets, wear this thing.
No.
So hold on, you have to wear a helmet and then like a padded helmet on top of that?
You got to take your helmet, and then they throw this, they snap on this padded thing.
Oh, my God.
Just play an inflatable bubble.
Safer protective equipment for players.
And the only reason they're not doing it for the games is because of the logo. Because that
it looks stupid.
Yeah,
Training camp, you're talking about really the onboarding time, and that's just a high frequency time for us in the NFL. A lot of time on the field, a lot of practice. We're really trying to prepare guys for the football demands of week one into the season. And so that period of time is where, injury mitigation is so critical.
For the first time ever, the NFL is requiring all linemen, tight ends, and linebackers to wear the Guardian cap during training camp practices up until the second preseason game. Wearing the Guardian cap will help better protect players in these position groups with the most
now they're putting corky caps on NFL guys.
Impacts.
The Guardian cap is what's known as an add-on to a helmet. It basically is a layer that goes over a helmet, attaches with elastic straps.
Dan, I kind of like it. It looks corked out, but I kind of like it.
It makes sense.
How much added weight does it put on your neck?
Yeah, but that doesn't hurt them.
And it contains padding, and that padding is intended to reduce the severity of impact.
It'd be almost like a soft wall technology in racing, right? Something like that.
Yeah, it's about 11 ounces. It says it.
Reducing the forces and motions that eventually make it through the head. The Guardian cap has been out there for many years, used at universities and high schools. Obviously, at the NFL, we have elite level of athletes, and what we found was we needed a specific design of the Guardian cap that would be applicable for the NFL.
Man, it probably takes about $1 to make these things, and they're probably selling them to the league for $55 a piece.
But they're more than that.
Environment.
So is there a point in some sports where they become too safe that it's not even fun to watch anymore? Because like part of watching like some sports, like including NASCAR, is like there's it's kind of dangerous. Well, when they take that danger out of it, then who cares?
It says just under 60. It's about $50-$60.
Yeah, but I guarantee you, they got a big factory in Taiwan that's spitting these out at $1.50 a piece.
Yeah.
Right? Just folded. It's just formed, plastic injected foam deal.
It's like the pads underneath the helmet already.
It's required for players this year, and what's been used the last couple of years in preseason and during the regular season.
You might need to roll around with those in life. You know what I'm saying?
The NFL during practices.
Actually, Dan, you're the most accidental guy around here. You might need one of these.
When it rains
Guardian.
at Diaco, you need to put one on.
They need to get a black and gold one. Ferrari. Need to get a Ferrari, Guardian helmet for you, Danny.
So this is the Guardian cap that our players will be wearing this summer for training camp. Well, 53 players wearing it. So the Guardian cap helps head impacts up to 10% if one player is wearing it, and up to 20% reductions in head impacts.
All right, so if it will reduce if two guys are wearing it and they hit each other like rams, like a lot of guys in the NFL do, it says it decreases the I guess maybe the impact to your brain by 20%.
Up to 20%.
All players are
Yeah,
wearing
because if they do a face mask, the face mask kit, there's zero padding.
Guardian cap.
What's going to be next, man? We put flags on the. I guarantee you, we're going to put flags on the quarterback soon.
We do.
Just like that.
We do in practice.
No, I know. In practice, you can't touch them.
You can't touch them in practice, and if you touch them at all after that ball's out, it's a flag.
No, if you've when you were a doctor for the Buccaneers and you're at practice a lot, did any defensive lineman, like on one-on-one drills, like let's say they're doing a 2-minute offense, it's the one defense versus the one offense. Did Sapp ever get in on Johnson on practice and did that cause a big problem?
No, they just touch him. He wouldn't do anything.
So they wouldn't they're
not tackling the quarterback in practice.
No, and if you do, they would absolutely smash your face in, would they not?
Yeah. Everyone would be upset.
I think that you're always trying to be as safe as possible.
Yeah, but if you get by your offensive lineman, you got a beat on him. Do you just pull up and say, "I could have got you, cuzzo"?
Yeah,
Is that what you do?
They know. They know if you've been beat. They can tell.
It's
so obvious.
If Warren Sapp would beat the center and he's blasting in on Brad Johnson he just pulls up and be like, man, I would have got your ass 14.
Yep.
Is that what happens?
See, I think that, helmets, someone said in the chat, the NFL is getting technology from high schools. I remember that, a couple of my friends, when their kids were in high school 7-8 years ago, they were spending really, really high numbers on helmets, on like the best helmets that they could find for their kids. And some of these helmets weren't available to the NFL. And some of the helmets were actually soft on the outside. They weren't like that hard plastic. And so I think helmet technology has really, really advanced a lot. And I don't understand why they couldn't just add a half an inch to the helmets to make them safer and not have this stupid looking.
Maybe mold that in, or somewhat incorporate that in.
Yeah, just have the outside of the helmet be, a quarter inch, half inch thicker and soft. I think that would do the same. 10%. That's nothing. This is like putting those like beaded things on your seat. It looks so silly. Or that wraparound on your steering wheel. Oh wait!
You're calling this a wraparound on this, like grandma's wraparound? Is that what you're calling it?
Or that beaded seat on the cab seat.
Yeah,
they're playing this game. Any little.
But I mean, I think that there's probably a happy medium where you're right. They could maybe incorporate this into the actual helmet, and it looks less, tic-tacky, hang-on-y. You know what I'm saying?
That can prevent injuries or. Make the game safer. Why not try it?
The players have been very
But I think helmet technology from when, let's say, I played.
Oh, it's huge advances.
When I played, man, the best helmet to have was a bike helmet, and they had you could pump it up.
Yeah, you put it on top and it pumps up the padding.
Right, exactly, and it was a little bit heavier, and you could really use it as a weapon. And then everybody else had those individual foamed Riddels.
Or the water ones. Remember the ones that had water in them?
Yeah. But the one bad thing about the Riddels, the one that had foam, sometimes that plastic would come encrusted after 2 or 3 years.
It would pinch you, crack.
And it would be hard. And that foam would get hard because they didn't recondition the helmet that year. We only had at our high school. We got it was a budget where they got 15 new helmets each year, and then they would have 35 reconditioned. You know what I'm saying? And everybody else would, and then they would have a whole big deal. So it would be cool if you'd get a brand new helmet. It'd be as a sophomore, you'd get one of the ones that hadn't been you'd get one that was 2 or 3 years old. But then as a junior, you might get a reconditioned one, and then as a senior, you could maybe get a new one. Maybe.
Yeah.
Receptive to it. We did use it with the LA Rams.
And back then, and Dan, when we were growing up, it wasn't an option for your parents to even go out and buy you a helmet.
Nope.
You couldn't buy, they weren't available in the retail world. You could only buy a helmet if you were a school or a municipality or a group or something. They just wouldn't sell one rich dad one helmet.
So Jay bought a couple helmets for Trey when he was, trying out for football.
Really?
Yeah, really nice ones. They're really, really the expensive ones that really make a difference on head impacts. Because there's a big variety of helmets right now. Really? And some are significantly better than others. And some are soft.
Can you send me, if you're a Diaco and you want to buy a helmet for your kid that's getting ready to play high school football?
Okay.
Can you, you don't have to just take that helmet that the team gives you. You can go out and buy your own?
Yes, that's what they do now.
And then they just give you the logos to put on it?
You just get a white one, you send it to the equipment guy, and he fixes it.
Rams last year, and I think it's all about education and research.
I think the first thing you notice is that vibration. You don't feel that impact as much. Then the sound. Certainly, you're going to have face.
I got hit so hard a couple times that I got stingers. I'm sure that's a concussion. When you your whole right side of your body's paralyzed for 7 or 9 seconds, and it feels like somebody's shooting lightning. And as any of you, Lummy, had to get a stinger.
Yeah, I've gotten a couple. That's the best helmet out right now that you can
$1,000.
Yeah. There used to be more.
$1,000. So
it does look cool.
That's awesome.
It actually does look pretty cool.
I mean, it does. But does this guy? This guy better be good. The guy that's wearing a $1,000 helmet better be good as hell. Because if not, he's going to get jobbed out. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Everybody's how's that $1,000 helmet treating you, buddy? I just went off on your ass.
What does
Split, you getting ready to say something?
No.
it take? Hard work. Heart. Grit.
I didn't even know your mom and dad could buy you a helmet now. Jeez. Is this what Jay got, Trey?
I don't know. He got the kind that Tom Brady has.
And the unique desire.
Tom Brady has a nice one.
And be hit every single play.
Now, in the NFL, Dan, can the guys buy their own, or will the team buy whatever they want? I think
the team will buy whatever they want.
Yeah.
Now, and again, there's probably 4 or 5 brands. There's probably 7 models that people are wearing.
Right. and you'd probably tell the team what you would feel more comfortable.
Exactly.
Can you wear whatever helmet you want, or like approved helmets?
I think the league has a list of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the league.
So you have to buy one that's approved.
Yeah, it's approved helmets, and then they only buy one for you. That's why they're having a lot of problems with the logo on the side when they do a throwback.
Let me watch this. This is called the Visus.
Yes.
002 trench.
Yeah.
And some of them are like literally soft if you touch them. They're not hard plastic at all.
I want to see some impact like battering rams.
In slow motion.
Introducing.
To me, it looks like the face mask is too close to your face.
It does.
Right?
Yeah.
I'd be right up in there with my hands.
Introducing the world's first position-specific helmet.
Well, yeah, it goes in your
Designed
head.
exclusively for the uniquely punishing conditions found in the trenches.
Oh, so these are lineman helmets, right?
So far, his head hasn't touched anything yet.
Yeah.
I know. It's
Yeah. So, Lummy, this is one for.
It looks like this one.
It says trenches, bitch.
No, I'm
For
saying
the guys in the trenches.
this one. I think probably is the one that he got. It's more of a wide receiver.
Is this what Trey probably got?
His has that little hexagon in the front now. Looks like a little spring.
What?
It's got a hexagon cutout in the front. Tom Brady's helmet.
I looked up Tom Brady's helmet. It didn't have that.
How many guys go out and buy Tom Brady's helmet thinking they're going to be Tom Brady?
I know, but he has a good one though, a very protective one.
It says a Riddell VSR4, but
So here you can build your own helmet.
Yeah, with the different cages and stuff. Depends if you're a receiver or a lineman or a
So
running
I'd
back.
want a black one, and I need a big one.
Well, it depends on what color your school or your team is.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
if you're playing for Penn State, you bust out the black helmet.
I want to look what kind of,
Who's this guy?
Let me see what kind of face guards they got here. I want one. I want one with as many bars because that used to mean when I played football, the more bars you had, the cooler you were.
Oh, yeah, that was a defensive lineman.
Yeah.
You know, that's what they wear. You know, a lot of bars, offensive and defensive lineman guys.
I think I might like that one. Lummy.
Yeah, that's a
the kind I
lineman.
want.
Oh yeah,
You can get it in red too, I think, can't you?
there.
Yeah, I want to have a real obnoxious helmet. That's it. That's the only options they have. That's a youth helmet though, Lovey.
Well, that's cool because it's smaller. So I didn't know what size he wore.
They don't make size helmet. They probably don't. What were you wearing? 8 and a half.
Yeah, 8 1/4 when I was in high school.
You were that guy that was in the 8s, weren't you, buddy?
Yes, I was.
See, I'm surprised they haven't made a helmet that kind of incorporates into your shoulder where it's not really connected to your neck. Does that make sense?
I'm not surprised they haven't came up with a helmet that had somewhat of like a built-in Hans device.
That's what I'm saying. So like the helmet and your shoulders are all like one piece, like kind of like a spaceman, so that when you hit someone with your head, you're really transferring the pressure or the impact to your shoulders.
Well,
Does that make sense?
I'm not like I don't know why they haven't put like a Hans device. Then you put your shoulder pads over the Hans device, and then it kind of it keeps your head from snapping.
That's Brady's helmet right there.
What if you're Speed Flex? That's it. That's
Brady's
it.
only
That's
got
it.
a $460 helmet.
Yeah, but that's it though, right, Dan?
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
That's what Trey got this
Oh,
year.
he said he doesn't like that helmet.
Who doesn't?
They banned his old helmet, and I guess he came out and said he doesn't like his new helmet that he has to wear.
Who, Tom Brady?
Yeah, Tom did.
Yeah.
That's a good helmet, though.
Yeah, well, he says he hated him. He said him and Antonio Brown got a problem with the helmet. So is Tom not liking it?
No, that's with their article. He wants to go back to his old one, but obviously that one's banned.
No, so his old one's no longer available?
Yeah, he had like that old school Riddell that like all the helmets used to be.
Right.
And it got banned in 2019.
Man, when they want
They've
you,
gotten better.
When they want you, they want you. This is two examples of people like mind your own business. This is a paparazzi that was giving Shannon Sharp a hard time rolling through the airport asking about Aaron Rodgers' use of psychedelics.
He was cool about it, though.
Well, he kind of was cool about it.
I mean, he wasn't like, get away from me.
Yeah, but hold on. Let me tell you where he wasn't cool about it. When he starts bringing up Aaron's sponsors and things like that.
Yeah.
Like, that's when it's like, you know what? He was cool until he got to until the last part of it, and I think he was being a dick. Hold on.
Remember when you smoked weed on Joe?
This is Elon Musk. I'm so sorry. This is the Shannon Sharp thing here. Walking through the airport, just trying to be a.
It's about Aaron Rodgers and his psychedelic experience.
I saw that.
he said that he credits it with his greatest
to tattletales with camcorders. Get the hell out of here! I'm trying to get my next one.
Seasons. And I wonder if you think that's
I don't know the NFL is too happy about him taking hallucinogenics. But whatever it takes, I mean, it seems weird to me. But whatever helps a person become a better person, find his inner self, I'm cool with it. I mean,
now, so far I got no problem.
Yeah.
So far I'm good. So far I'm good.
I don't have a problem with it. It's not something that I would have done, but to each his own. I'm not knocking him for it.
So again, I'm still like I'm not.
Sure.
Not only I don't have a problem with it, I think it's the best answer you could give.
Sure.
Like I'm like, yeah, hell yeah.
Well, the question is this: like, he's the MVP, you know. So, do you feel like a lot of young guys are gonna see that and be like,
well,
yo,
yeah. I mean, obviously, that's what you always try to put a positive model. You don't want to drugs of that nature. But hey, what's up, bro? It is what it is. I mean, he did it. It's too late now. I mean, I'm sure the NFL is going to have something to probably give him a call and say that's not a good look. But his
And again, I'm still borderline.
Still fine, yeah.
All right, here it is.
sponsors might have something to say.
See, that's not.
Sponsors might have something
He's
to
not
say.
wrong though.
I mean,
I
isn't
know
that
he's
obvious?
not. I know he's
He's not telling the sponsors to
Yeah.
drop him.
If he named him and said like, "Hey, Nike wouldn't like that,"
Still
but-
bro code, man.
What?
I mean, I'm just saying, just still like former league, you know, like Ty. You wouldn't hear Ty J bringing up a guy's sponsors.
No. Tria Bill, $100 cash.
Like for
PayPal.
real. Thank who?
Tria Bill.
Thank you, buddy. I got some heavy-handed donations to talk about over the weekend.
Awesome.
But you wouldn't hear Ty J do that. Like, I mean, I think everything's cool up until you maybe potentially could cost the guy some money, and you might say, yeah, duh. Well, let the sponsors figure it out themselves. Don't let it be over TMZ.
Hey, now,
But he's a corporate. He's nothing but a corporate guy now.
I know, but just hold
You
on.
know, Shannon Sharp is just towing that corporate line.
I know, hold on.
I'm sure the NFL is going to have something to probably give him a call and say that's not a good look. But his sponsors might have something to say. But
you think any fines are in
See, man, I think
order or anything like that?
I'm not sure, but I'm sure the commissioner is going to reach out and have a conversation with him.
Last thing, Lewis Hamilton joining the Broncos
I'm
fold
all
as an
for it.
what
owner.
a mark as our news string and mark. Get the hell out of here.
He needs to let me get one of those Mercedes and let me take it around the block.
Is that a game changer though?
He looks pretty good though. I sent you a picture of him now.
Lewis Hamilton bought a piece of the Broncos too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They sold it to everybody. Who else? I mean, it's like, I feel like everyone bought a piece of the Broncos.
Don't get mad because you didn't get offered.
Right now, yeah, it was on his birthday. He took a couple pictures.
How old is he?
54.
50,
No,
yeah.
he's not.
Yeah.
For
Yeah, he is.
real?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty strong. Jesus Christ.
He is. He is a smooth, and I think he's a Hall of Fame
Yeah.
NFL tight end. I mean, he was,
Fly away with those wings.
guy's a stud. I just
Yeah.
don't like when you start messing with a guy's money.
Nope.
I just don't like. I mean, you know.
What position did he play?
Tight end.
Don't mess with the chickens, right?
Mentals.
Yes.
That's what Marshawn Lynch says is the chickens. That you got to mess with your all mentals. You got to mess with your all chickens.
Just got to keep them in line.
You got. I think you got. Yeah. Don't mess with a guy's chickens. Oh, I keep missing it.
Take care of y'all chicken. Take care of y'all bodies.
All right, so I have a reversal of mindset with regards to the chickens.
Okay. Why is that?
Well, just
Did you eat more of the eggs?
no.
I have a feeling you don't like gamey eggs, and you're like, what's the point?
That's a small percentage of it.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
But the other part of it is it's a lot of work
For Lummy.
It's just a lot of extra. It's just a lot of extra stuff, from having their own little area to feeding them to gathering the eggs, and then
Cleaning
it's
the
just and they
coop.
smell. They
Yeah.
suppose I heard chickens
Make
smell,
noises.
and I'm just like, you know what? I'll just buy eggs at $9,
Yeah.
then worry about chickens. So Lummy, we're nothing changes.
So are we going back to the garden idea or?
No, you know, I don't even know if we're going to do a garden back there. That seems like a lot of work too.
Yeah, Bubba doesn't like vegetables.
And that is kind of a funky area as it slopes down.
Why don't you just do like zero-scape stuff you just don't have to deal with? You don't have to water it. You don't have to maintain it. Just put like some cactuses out
I
there.
just think we're going
Cacti.
to keep it the way it is. Just a little grass
Succulents.
little grass piece that Lummy mows when he does. And if we need to park a car there or throw some junk back there or whatever the hell, we just keep it. Too much. Got too much going on. I don't need a garden. I don't need chickens.
That area stays wet all the time, too.
Yeah. So, Lummy, we're not doing any of that, okay,
Cancel
buddy?
the chickens.
Yeah, cancel the chickens, cancel the coop, cancel the fencing. Everything stays. We're just going to concentrate on the health of the pond, Lummy. You get us some more fish if you could.
Will do.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
Elon Musk, man, can't even get high on Rogan. The feds were after him. He said he had to, take all these drug tests and stuff just because he got high with Joe Rogan.
What?
That one, yeah.
In an area it was legal in that vicinity, too, right? Recreational.
Yeah, but it's federally illegal.
It's just a joke.
Remember,
I can't believe you did this podcast.
It's
That's
an
really cool.
absolute joke. I love the fact that Elon Musk will roll up on a guy's couch and just do a podcast.
Are you familiar with the Nelk Boys?
The who?
The Nelk Boys.
Like you're saying the Milk Boys.
No, Nelk. It's the guys in the Full Send podcast. They're
No.
huge. Do a lot of pranks.
Remember when
and
you
stuff.
smoked weed on Joe Rogan? Did
Yeah,
you get a
one
lot of
puff,
backlash for that?
I did get a lot of backlash because it's still federally illegal.
Yeah.
So
I'm sorry, man. I just think this guy's cool.
Everyone does.
I just think he comes
Except the
across
feds.
as cool.
no, it was pretty nutty actually. I had to because so I had to have random drug tests and stuff after that to prove that I'm not like a drug addict.
Really?
Yeah.
By who though? Who gives you the random
Even
drug
for
test?
weed?
The federal government, because SpaceX has federal government contracts, so
Okay.
and it's still illegal federally. So like the
So Johnny FBI probably had to come under and make him pee in a cup.
SpaceX competitors were like, hey, look at it. Why aren't you doing anything? Look at him smoke.
Yeah, and a bunch of Karen, snowflake snitching ass bitches competing space companies that get government contracts saying, why aren't you testing Elon? He gets, government subsidies and stuff. He must be drug free. Marijuana is illegal, federally. So then again, doesn't that just show you how much of a bunch of little snowflake ass bitches we've become? Everybody telling on each other.
I mean, he went on Rogan's podcast and smoked weed. It's not like he was doing it, behind closed doors.
No, I know, but what's the big deal?
I don't think it's a big deal. I'm just saying it is what it is.
And it wouldn't have been a big deal if his competition hadn't snitched on him. That's what. Listen.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. Listen to what he says right here. Listen.
Because SpaceX has federal government contracts, so
okay,
and it's still illegal federally. So like the SpaceX competitors were like, hey, look at it. Why aren't you doing anything?
There you go.
Yeah.
The SpaceX. Instead of saying, if you're a SpaceX competitor, hey, listen, Elon's cool, whatever. No, we want to get the contract. A bunch of little pussies.
And it's still illegal.
Stop messing. They're messing with his chicken. Aren't they messing with Elon's chicken?
Yeah. Take care of y'all chicken.
Yeah.
Legal federally. So like the SpaceX competitors were like, hey, look at it. Why aren't you doing anything? Look at him smoking, just brazenly smoking weed on Joe Rogan's
So they even drug test you
podcast.
for weed?
Yeah, they drug tested me for everything.
Well, that must have been he still has the SpaceX, company, and
I wonder how many other people with federal contracts are being subjected to routine and regular drug testing.
Right.
I think it's unconscionable.
Based on an appearance that they made on a show, and they got high on a show, and geographically where that show is broadcast from, it's legal. So it's like
Was it legal in September of 2018? Because that's when he went on there.
Yeah, I think it was.
Was it? Okay.
It's funny, though, because at the same time, Tesla was firing employees that tested positive for weed.
Yeah, but there's different rules for the guy that owns the place compared to the guy that's putting on the right front.
Yeah.
It's true.
Right?
It's disgusting, though. And, Biden's had 2 years to decriminalize marijuana. He's had, he had both chambers of the House and obviously the presidency. And he's had 2 years to decriminalize marijuana and hasn't. He spent a lot of time, though.
Hold on, that's going to be his big red herring.
You think right before what? The midterms?
I don't. He's either going to hold on to it before the midterms, or he's going to hold on to it before the general election.
But he won't have both houses probably before the general election. His big moment of opportunity is the first 2 years of his term, because he'll lose likely one of the chambers.
One would think if it's going to be a midterm deal, it better happen here in the next week or two.
Yeah.
Because right? I mean, it's
Well, he just passed
the
legislation
midterms
that
are the midterms are in November, right?
yes.
Okay. So he just passed what?
He just doubled the size of the IRS.
Yeah, the Inflation
doubled
Reduction Act.
the size of the IRS, and did it.
Hold on. He doubled the size of who?
The IRS.
He wants them to start going after people that owe money and start collecting and start throwing
so
people
he's
in jail.
arming them and doubling their size and increasing all kinds of random taxes.
You can hold on to my lawyer right now.
Plus his Inflation Reduction Act does nothing to reduce inflation. It's just a name. You might as well call cancer like butterfly. It's that misleading. Even Bernie Sanders says this does nothing for inflation.
Greg and Amy.
It's a Green New Deal Act.
Greg and Amy 25 on the Cash App. So is our boy Rudy. Thank you. And then on Venmo, Seth Wiley 25, and then John Kostika 100 on Friday out of nowhere. Sticking up for you, Lummy. Said he saw you became so emotional. I caught a lot of heat for that, Lummy.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, Wayne Toussaint gave $69 yesterday on the GOAT report.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, Toussaint.
Well, thank you for everybody's generosity. Lummy, I'm trying to get to, I think we got like 106 new people that need to subscribe to the YouTube channel, which is at the Bubba Army, because that'll hit 47,000. And if we do that by tomorrow, by the time we end the show tomorrow, then I'll go live from Columbus, Indiana a few times, including but not limited to the live chicken sandwich review at 5 o'clock on Thursday, live from Columbus, Indiana with Sumo Kicker.
I thought it was Wednesday. For Wednesday, the last day. No?
Okay. Trying to get him motivated, Lummy. You're trying to give him an extra day because you're soft-ass puss.
Well, I was just because I thought it was the end of the
It's actually supposed to be Friday. It was actually supposed to be Friday, and I'm trying to give him 2 extra days.
Oh.
I'm pissed off as hell. There's probably thousands and thousands of people that consume us by some sort of way that are, that do go to YouTube but have not followed us.
Yeah, well, how much does it cost to subscribe to YouTube, Bubba?
Nothing. Zero.
What? Oh, what?
That's
Huh?
what pisses me off so much. That's
Oh.
why we don't have thousands of people every day going to our YouTube channel subscribing, because it's free. And there's so much great stuff on there. Stuff that you can't find anywhere else. And by the way, did I mention it was free, you lazy bastards?
I didn't know it was free.
Yeah, it's goddamn free.
Free.
Free. Free. You go to youtube.com and you follow and you go ahead and search the Bubba Army, and then you'll see our stupid ass channel come up, and then you hit subscribe, notifications, both of which are free. And that makes our numbers go up. And then we can make a little bit more money on those little ads that you watch here and there. It's the least you could do for us, please.
Come on, please.
The Bubba Radio Network will return after this.
You're trade risk.
And do we need to keep pouring money into Ukraine? I mean, at what point do you stop?
Are we still sending money there?
Fuck yeah, we're some.
It's a little bit more money though.
I think we cracked $100 billion. I
100 billion?
think we cracked $100 billion so far.
How many were you 90? No, it's only 900.
Huh?
900.
No.
Look, I need you to print me out for that gas
I
today.
gotta go grab it right now.
Please.
Where you go 90, 33 months?
More 900 million.
Yeah, good luck getting Brittany Griner back.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Hello, it's just us. Good morning, Gary Cantrell. Had a fantastic weekend. So fun. This weekend's going to be even better.
John Brennan is now the ops manager.
Who's the program director?
Changes at CMG Tampa.
Who's the program director of the Bone? Maybe I should ask my insiders. Good morning, Bubba Army for Life. No, we didn't, but we did watch on Netflix Love on the Spectrum. That is money. Money. Oh.
Is Mike Oliveira still there?
I think he was on this Saturday. So yeah. I believe so. As far as I know. Good morning, Bald Wall Try.
A lot larger.
Morning.
It's big on mine, but
Boston Try.
I'll do it right now. I
Drop
think
the
I'm
tray.
okay. Is it okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. Thank you.
Thank you. When is he calling? 8:30? Thank you. Good job, Mama.
Okay, also, here's that. Read that first.
Love the tree. Hello.
Sammy Speed, 5 months.
Let's see. We have a baby.
Gold Egler, 53 months. 25's big ass nose. 24 months.
Will you get charcoal ice cream with me? With chia seeds?
Do I gotta read it twice this week?
I asked for the schedule and no one ever sent me anything. I have no idea what.
All right.
Oh no.
Good morning, Bubba's actually
That's
fun.
not good.
What's up, Redbeard?
Jesus, her outfit matches her eyes.
Oh shit. Organic Gene, good morning, Redbeard 313, good morning.
Has Dan seen this doctor stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, make sure he's got it.
He's yeah, I gave him a page. He's had it probably for about 2 days.
Okay.
Or known for research.
We're gonna do light stream lumping.
Light stream, take 2.
Okay.
Light stream.
We gotta do extras.
Morning, Bubba's poop nuts. It's, That's stuff you already saw.
Yeah, I read that a couple times.
Baby Short Choker, 42 months. Wild Balls are on it. Good morning. Pippy Short Stroker, 42 months. What's up, Uncle Eric? See, they're doing it smart now. It's smart. I'm making a big deal. They're doing under.
Live from the Sunbelt Rental Studios, it's the Bubba the Love
I'm gonna
Sponge
start
Show.
quitting people. I'm not trying to get arrogant where I'm all that. I have a inventory of new people that will come and listen to the show. But for you people to act like dicks, I'm over you.
Hello there, the redneck with good skincare at a drive-thru in a dually Ford. You're eating bites of chicken with cheese and ketchup only Unsavory is lonely 'cause he's banned. He wanted me to write this, to ask for your forgiveness. He wishes you and him could be best friends until you wear Depends. He dissed you. Now he misses you.
Listen, buddy.
Bubba Army, unsavory is sorry. He got banned quicker than abortion rights. That stupid Bob Ross wig is how this beef started. He wore it just to waste Lummy's time, then left a stupid comment. And Bubba saw it, put a hat on his camera, then he cried. If Bubba is still angry, ban Carlos or Tampa Terry. Break this disc if you think it's not right. Unban him tonight. Unsavory is so sorry. He wore a clown wig on his head. Unsavory is so sorry. He wore a clown wig on his head.
I was like, okay, I get it. I understand. Like, listen, Bo, buddy. What are you calling about that? Listen. Lummy, you know car shopping can be exhausting. The worst part is you get what you want, you go to a dealership, you find that quality used car, and by the time that you get the price right, then you got to get the financing in order, and that sucks. Except for when you deal with Lightstream.com.
/BTLS.
Their philosophy is simple. You work hard to build great credit, so they're going to give you a great rate and a great experience to match. Apply now online and get a loan from $5,000 to $100,000 for any used car. No collateral, no liens, no restrictions on mileage or age. You can get a loan and buy a used car from a dealership with rates starting at 3.99% APR with auto pay and excellent credit. Apply now and get a special interest rate discount and save even more. Just go to lightstream.com.
/BTLS.
That's LIGHTSTREAM.com.
/BTLS.
Subject to credit approval. Rates range from 3.99% APR to 9.49% APR. Include a 0.50% auto pay discount. Lowest rates require excellent credit. Terms and conditions apply, and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com /BTLS for more information. For more information. Lummy, have you talked to your Tarpon,
Yes.
Tampa Tarpon people?
Yes, I have. I'm going to send a link to everyone that puts it right into where you can buy the tickets, and then Rhett and I are working on a video.
Like a graphic?
Correct.
I need a graphic that we can post everywhere. Or are you saying a link, so to speak?
Yeah, we have a link, but I was going to do a graphic and then also a little video because some people are getting confused. They think we're in a box. And I'm like, no, we're not in a box. It's the whole stadium. So I'm going to get it so it's easier for them.
Do you even know what you're talking about?
Yeah, there's been...
We're not in a box. We're in the whole stadium. That's what Lummy just said. Well, if you're in the whole stadium, Lummy, duh. I mean, in order to get... I mean, as soon as you walk through the front door, you're in the whole stadium.
No, but people keep saying about... Because some of these people haven't even...
It's two sections, Lummy.
I know, but no.
So no, it's not the whole stadium. It's two sections.
I need Blitz. Hold on, Blitz. Shut up. I mean, Blitz, don't shut up. I need your back. Blitz, wade through this nonsense. Can you help me, buddy?
Yeah, the link that Lummy has will let you buy tickets in our two sections,
Okay.
which are awesome seats, by the way.
Right.
But yeah, it's two sections.
It's not a box.
No, I know that, but the people that keep asking me about it, they go on, they see the two sections, they go, well, I want to sit in the box, the air conditioned box with you. And I said, it's a try to explain it to them. So that's why I was going to make a video explaining it. That
Lummy, maybe you could go to the ballpark.
Well, I already have videos of that. That's what I was going to put together with Rhett.
Oh, so sorry.
Yeah.
Do you have videos specifically about this question, or do you just have videos of you hanging out for your birthday? What I'm saying is, if you went there one of these days and like, hi, this is Lummy, and this box right here, and this box right over there.
No, you can't say box. Can't say box.
This area right here.
Yeah.
And this area right here. And see, this is where they're going to put the food, and this is where the bartender's going to be, and this is where Bubba's going to be, and this is where Dr. Dan's going to be, and if Romina's allowed to go, she will be here. Blummel will be here. Lummy will be here.
Yeah.
Yeah, what?
No, that's what we're planning on doing.
Yeah. Because I want to make it a commercial too, where I cut a commercial.
Okay.
And then we run it on the network.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
there just might be some people that would travel from Charleston or maybe Fort Walton Beach or Orlando, Melbourne, Ocala, and actually come to this game to be part of our little experience.
Hinstar is. He's flying down for that.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, from North Carolina.
Well, we need to have like a little commercial.
Okay.
Be like, hey, it's Bubba the Love Sponge. Don't forget this Saturday, August 20th is Bubba Army Night at the Tampa Tarpons, minor league baseball facility, better known as George Steinbrenner Field, right next to one where the Bucks play, right across the street. Super badass. Tickets as low as for the VIP, triple VIP, the same type of stuff that Bubba and Dan and Blitz will be rolling with. I think they're what? $36.95, $63.95. What are they?
$36.95 for all you can drink, all you can eat.
The most expensive ticket, which puts you where we're gonna be, and what comes with all you can eat and drink, is less than $37. You can't even go to a Lightning game and buy chicken tenders and a Coke for $37.
Nope.
Let alone all you can eat, and be with us. So, Lummy, I need, because we're only on the air 3 days this week, I
Yes.
need to get this infrastructure built.
I will.
My friend, so I can get it out, including I got to cut this commercial that I'm going to run during the network, but also give to our radio stations to run, if they have some avails.
No problem.
You know what I'm saying, Lummy?
Yes, sir. I will.
It could run during. It could potentially run during the Shannon Burke show over there on Florida Man Radio. That's only if you get your act together. You think you're going to get it together? You're going to think you're going to whiff this one, then you're going to have a meltdown, and everybody's going to get mad at me.
No, I will.
It's pretty self-explanatory, right?
You would think so, but
Well, I mean, hold on. So this is the link?
yes.
But is this completely 100% our section, or is there going to be some jobbers mixed in here?
No, that's 100% our section.
Wow, those are nice.
That's what I'm saying.
And we can expand it to more once those.
What I'm saying is, let's say, Mrs. McGillicuddy and Jim McGillicuddy from Dunedin, who aren't Bubba Army, are they going to be able to buy in these two sections?
No, those are closed for us.
110 and 109 are our sections. Yes.
Yes.
And so you just bought.
You just click on
we
that
got
link.
a promo code.
Yeah,
Okay.
Bubba 22.
Perfect.
So when you click on the blue section, it takes you to the 3 options for the tickets.
Oh no, hold on, I need to go like this.
Well, there's 3 options.
I know, but you need to. It also has that one there, right?
Yeah. Because if you
where
don't
are
want to
the
get
3
the all you can eat, you can get the $5.38 tickets.
You select your seats, and then you select ticket type.
How do you do that?
You click on the blue.
Right. So let's say I want to go right here, right?
Yeah.
Click on that.
And then the blue ones are the ones available.
All right. So hold on. I want. Let me see. I want this whole row with me and the boys. So you go like that.
Yep.
And then. Well, this is awful technical, isn't it?
And there's your 3 options.
Now, what's the difference, Lummy, between the individual game meal deal and the individual game MVP meal deal?
The MVP is the all
Hold on. I could be
AC.
sitting there for $5.39 and not do nothing.
Yeah, that's cheap.
Then you just have to buy your whole concession. The individual meal
Do
deal
they give you
is-
an armband to go to this certain area? Then?
Correct.
Oh, okay.
So do you see the
Now,
gray
where-
section?
Now, where's that air? Yeah, is that the gray? Is that?
No. Like up a little bit. So you go underneath the stadium. Up. Yeah. See that gray section where between I and J?
Right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, right above
So you go
111.
down the stairs and
All
there's
right,
a whole
bam,
club.
And then you go down here.
Yeah.
Bam, bam. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
It's underneath the whole.
And then you go
stadium.
back up here and sit. And
Yeah.
then you go back down there.
Yeah.
And then you go back over here. And then you go back over here. And
Yeah.
all this will be Bubba Army.
Correct.
And if we happen to get lucky enough, maybe they'll give us 111 or 108. I mean, will they expand?
Yeah, he's already said that.
What if we sell out 109 and 110?
Then we'll get 111, 108, 107, 112, whatever we want.
Right. Perfect. And Lummy, I think that I should just buy, rather than for us to be, this is how much I want this promotion to go well, rather than for us to get tickets, I'm just going to use my company credit card and buy us all tickets.
Oh, thank you.
Oh. Just buy a row.
Yeah, I mean, but I need to know who's all going. Lummy, you're going, right?
Of course.
And Ashley's going.
Yep.
There's 2. Dan, are you you 1 or 2?
I'm 1.5. Well, count me as 2 for now.
Okay, 2. Blumel, we don't know if you guys.
I think we're gonna make it.
Yeah.
So that's that.
I moved some stuff around so we can get there.
Is Rhett the filthy Egyptian going?
Egyptian?
Yes.
Whatever he is.
That's Monique.
That's your brother-in-law.
Yeah, so I got 9 right now. So I'm gonna buy 9. That covers everything.
What number do you want on the back of your jersey?
Why don't you tell me?
You want 3 or 14? Any of those?
Why would 3?
I don't know. You wore that before. That's the only reason.
So when I
What do
was
you do
paying
at
homage to
Oh.
Evan Longoria.
Okay, 14 then?
14 is. Yeah, I mean, Dan, what number should I have? My football number was 64.
Yeah, 64. I thought you was always wore.
Yeah, I'm going 64.
64.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dan, what was your high school number? Did you play?
I played junior high football.
Right.
And wrestling, you didn't really have numbers.
Right. No, you were just like, you were probably
The
like the
158 guy.
Were you the 158 guy?
My senior year.
You were?
Yeah.
You got that heavy?
Yeah.
Wow.
So 148 and 158 I wrestled.
Right. What was your record?
God, my senior year was probably, at 158, it was probably 14, 3, and 1.
Yeah, you're better than me. I was like 9, 7, and 2 or something.
There were some really, really, really ridiculously strong guys at 148 and 158.
Try 185.
Really, yeah, those guys had big, massive, like linebacker
Right.
arms.
And I was just,
scary.
185, 177, 158. Those were all the studs.
Studs.
Yeah.
Some guys.
And the 185 guys, they would cut from 210.
Yeah, I know, they're
so
massive.
They were walking. They were 210 guys that cutted to 85 for wrestling season, and then in between, like as soon as the match would be, like our matches were usually Thursdays, is when our matches were. So or Saturday tournaments. So literally that 177 guy would be 85 until Tuesday. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Then you cut like 8 in 2 days, and you'd hit 77. But those were where the studs were. So let me later today or something. You're gonna have to show me. I guess I just got to go buy 9 tickets, Lummy. And
You can only buy 8 at a time.
all right, well then I'll buy.
Yeah, I just
8.
looked. Yeah.
I'll buy 8, Lummy, with the corporate card, and then we'll figure it out. Okay.
Sweet.
And then give me like a graphic and a promotion.
Yeah.
Is this now what you sent me? Is that a link?
Yeah, that's the link that they sent us, so you don't have to type in the promo code. It takes you right to our sections.
Perfect. So, and get me some copy.
Yep.
So I can do a commercial, and then we can have like a little commercial that runs.
Yeah, I'll have it for you.
And a graphic that we can put on Insta and
Yeah, it'll be on all the social media.
Facebook and all that kind of nonsense. And
Yep.
make a YouTube video of it and everything. Dan, how did your Botox go on Friday? And I got a proposal for that.
I didn't do it because I didn't have anyone to do it for me.
Oh, so here's what
And I
I
had to go see my doctor anyway. I ran out of time.
Dan texted me on Friday and says, "Hey, I'm doing Botox at 2:30. You want to give it to me? You want to do it as a video?"
Want to poke me?
And I was like, I was in the middle of something, and I almost was wanting to maybe just kind of drop what I was doing and go over there. But then I'm thinking, well, and Dan was like, I'll just put dots where you need to inject. But here's what I'm thinking, Dan. I want to be perfect with you. So the next time the merch crick might need some Botox,
Oh God.
I'm going to have, you're going to be in there. Because, Dan, you really can't
Yeah,
give me the hands-on
Teach 'em.
You can't give me the hands-on instructions on how to angle the needle, but if I'm doing it to somebody and I'm not doing it to you, you can actually help me learn how to do it better than the first time I do it is on you. You know what I'm
Bubba, you
saying?
can practice on me.
I don't want to practice on you. I want you to show me
Right.
how to do it on another person before I get to do it on you.
Okay.
You
You
know
want
what I'm
you want a trial run?
Yeah, like we'll bring the merch crick in there and you just say, "Hey, Bubba, this is how you do it."
Yeah.
And then you tell me, I'll watch you do it a couple shots, and then I'll know how, because I don't know how deep to go with the needle. How deep do you go? Do you go balls deep on the deal?
Depends on the area.
See?
Till it scrapes the bone.
See, Dan? It depends. But I don't want to, have my instruction be on you, the guy I'm doing it to. Wouldn't it be better if we had a guinea pig?
Sure.
Yeah, and then I can do it to you.
Okay.
I
can do it today.
I think that would make more sense. I think I might be the only one traveling for our little mini vacation that we're taking.
And where are you going?
Indiana.
On a plane.
For
Yeah.
our little mini vacation.
driving.
that
Yeah, we're gonna
And where are
drive.
you going?
Indiana. Hold on.
On a plane. Yeah.
Hold on. I'm so sorry. Yeah, but Anna, you guys are staying in state.
Right.
In state,
Where?
yeah.
Right.
We're
y'all
going over
heading?
to Daytona.
Right.
Oh, that's cool.
But what I'm saying is, is this what potentially I could be facing next week? Because I'm telling you right now, if I go to the airport Thursday morning, and I've gotten delayed, or I'm just coming back home. I'm just not dealing with delays or cancellations or anything like that. So this past weekend, wasn't there like 4,000 flights delayed?
Yep.
Yeah, hold on. Not dealing with it.
Tonight, extreme weather from coast to coast, disrupting travel plans.
It was very upsetting, and I feel like we're pretty exhausted at this point. I just don't understand how.
Yeah, like I have zero time. If I just can't walk right through, get right on my plane, no bubbles, no troubles, and I got to like sit and get postponed and delayed, it's going to ruin my entire life.
This is okay.
More than 4,000 delays.
Like Blitz, when you guys traveled to Denver, no problems. There was no.
No, there was. We were delayed a few hours in Tampa.
Okay.
Nothing insane.
No, whatever. Things happened.
But you guys weren't sitting there for 9 hours,
No.
contemplating whether to get a hotel.
It was like 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, screw
Over
that.
600 cancellations already today.
4,000 delays, 600 cancellations over some rain.
You got to remember though, like, I mean, delays are normal. Like they plan on delays. It depends on how long, but.
On to the more than 10,000 disruptions.
Dan, you actually flew a lot this summer back and forth to Jersey City. Did you have much?
Zero problems this time. Zero.
Wow.
None.
But I don't tolerate delays either, Bubba. I'm with you on that. And it's unconscionable that they charge what they charge, and they have the capability of not having any delays.
Yeah, they'd rather risk just crashing the plane than dealing with
that's not really causing delays. Weather's not causing these delays. These delays are the infrastructure and the machine that they've built and recreated 6 times over the last 15 years.
And the pilots that are calling out.
Yeah,
and,
they created this. They created this problem themselves.
In New Hampshire, a fast-moving storm toppling trees and damaging homes.
It's
curled
greed.
up underneath the dashboard, thinking that this is my last day. I'm done. I'm gonna die. I'm lucky to be here.
Meanwhile, in Death Valley,
We're
California,
lucky he's here.
historic rain.
Man, if I was a
They
kid,
do call it Death Valley.
if I was a kid, man, we couldn't get a tire or an inner tube fast enough to go over that cliff.
I know.
From
It's
deserts into rivers.
And it's muddy and it's probably stuff you shouldn't be doing.
There was nothing more fun than when it rained a lot. You could play in the rain and just
Throw mud balls at your buddy's face.
You would find anything that would float so you can get in it and float somewhere.
And the only rule was no rocks in the mud ball. Like, if you're going to mud ball a guy, make sure there's no rocks in it. So you didn't, take his eye out.
Yeah.
But if you get a nice big old scoop of mud, feel that it had no rocks in it, then you sling it like a monkey slinging poop at the zoo.
Yeah.
That's cool.
1,000 people in the park.
Before I could even see the water, I could just hear rocks and boulders and all this stuff starting to
Jesus Christ
come down the mountains.
Roads completely washed out, caking 60 cars in mud.
I mean, that is
Looks
kind
like
of funny.
Bubba Raceway Park.
The park remains
After we get 2 inches of rain.
closed. And overnight in Cuba, lightning struck a
Cuba, that ain't going to cause no problems on delays.
Yeah, but lightning struck a fuel storage, Bubba.
causing this massive fire to explode.
Gas gonna
and
be
spread
up
to
now.
a second tank.
In Cuba.
Gas going to be up now.
Yeah, Cuban
Nearly
gas.
80 people hospitalized. All of this as Kentucky gets hit again. Slow-moving storms
That's real close to where I'm coming.
on track to dump at least 2 to 3 inches of rain.
I'm only 2 hours from the Kentucky line. Being
2
in
to 3
Columbus.
inches of rain.
While much of
We
America
get that in an
bakes under
afternoon.
What's up, Shorty? Shiz with a Z. Look at this. Thirsty.
While much of America bakes under sweltering temperatures, 73 million are under heat alerts. The plains could feel like 110 degrees, with Omaha, Tampa, and El Paso all bracing for record-breaking temperatures. A midsummer nightmare with
I was wondering why my air was running real hard this weekend.
Yeah.
no end in sight.
Priscilla joins us now from Houston's Hobby Airport. Are some airlines faring better than others, Priscilla?
I swear to God, I better not get any cancellations.
Jose, more than a third of Southwest and JetBlue flights have been delayed.
What's your
The
airline?
most of eight
Southwest.
Sorry, I'm
major
not trying to
US,
laugh.
airline.
The most
Now,
of
for
any
now-
airline.
Just
Oh,
growled at
no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. I'm sorry, Bubba.
What time is
Jose,
your
more than a
flight?
third
Early.
Good.
of
That's a good
Southwest
sign.
and JetBlue flights have been delayed, the most of any major U.S. Airline. Now, for now, cancellations are hovering at about 4%, but that could change going into the night. Jose?
So you have a 1 in 25 chance.
Well, first of all,
1 in 12.
we got to probably look at what's the weather projected to be. I'm flying Thursday.
Right.
Oh, the floods will be over by then.
Yeah.
And it's the weather here won't be an issue.
It's up there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not flying back. Usually I like to fly back on Saturday to give myself a day, but I'm not flying back till Sunday.
Uh-oh.
So I'm just going to go ahead and warn you.
What time are you expected to arrive on
I'm not
Sunday?
telling the trolls will cancel.
No, but is it like are you getting back to like
Afternoon?
early afternoon?
No, early.
Oh, okay.
All
So
right.
you have
So you get
you'll-
246.
Yeah, so you'll have the day then.
To 246 it. And because I'm going to be so off my 246 regiment, being in Indiana.
Oh yeah.
Staying
That'll
at
live.
Sumo's
It's okay.
house. Sumo's already been to the meat market, got all the food.
So meat therapy?
Oh yeah, he's got. I mean, he goes down to where they cut it off the.
The butcher shop.
He goes to a real butcher shop like in the country, and if you go in the back, they got the cows
hanging
on these big
Nice.
hooks.
Some fresh farm eggs.
Yeah.
Gamey.
Thursday. It says Thursday. It's going to be mostly sunny and pleasant in Columbus.
And here the weather's gonna be like really nice.
What about
especially in the morning?
What about Friday, Saturday? Let me give me Columbus, Indiana, Friday, Saturday.
It looks about the same. Sunday looks like evening. It will rain.
I'll be out of there by
Yeah.
then.
Hopefully.
What's Friday? What's Friday?
77.
High
Sunny. Yeah.
High 77.
Yep.
Oh, that's
That's
nice.
it?
Yeah. Saturday high 78.
What's the lows?
53 and 59.
leave the
Man,
windows
Bubba,
open.
that's perfect.
Perfect.
Bring some of that back.
Yeah. No kidding.
Let me go into words. I'm running late.
The Bubba Radio Network will return after this.
What words did he use?
We're going to get into that.
Yeah, I'd like to know what word he used. I couldn't find it.
We're going to get into that.
I'm getting up just to get a monster drink. Want to need anything from the fridge?
Oh, I don't even know.
No, thank you.
Huh?
No, I don't know who that is.
You said no, Lummy?
I'm good. Thank you.
Bubba, do you need anything out of the fridge?
Something up.
Ooh, what you eating?
Dan Diaco's giant dong, 37 months.
Giant.
Jamie 85, 52 months. D Smith Photo 843, 15 months. I made Phoebe Jetski 57 months. There you go, exactly. Dark Knight Steve. Alright, so
Good morning, little Wilbur's after birth.
morning possum shot. Whatever's after birth. Good morning.
Let me use our guest confirmed for tomorrow.
Yes, it is. I just gotta get them over the Zoom link.
What?
Yes, they are. Thank you. I'm gonna call you the police.
Gonna call you the police.
What's up, Gold Egg Layer Day? Gold Egg Layer Day. That's right. Happy National Dollar Day. Good morning, Aunt HKDD. Bubba's gonna bang on at 29 months. Morning Hierarchy 65, soon to be guaranteed Afghan Hall of Famer Hierarchy 65. For earlier, the J Cop 48 months.
After this morning, conspiracy theorist Alex Jones continuing to cast doubt. There's really weird stuff going on with Trump. After a resounding rebuke, the InfoWars host was ordered to pay an additional $45.2 million in punitive damages to the parents of a Sandy Hook shooting victim.
What's up, Finn 212?
That verdict handed down just
What's up, Ant?
What's up?
Anth Kid.
Nash young boy, Finn 202R, Scary Larry 33, good morning.
What's up, Grouper Lips? Hall of Fame, Grouper Lips.
Still, they say it's a win. Other parents, I wanted to represent you well. I know that you have endured pain, just like I have over the past 10 years.
Cheeseburger 27.
What's
9
up,
months,
Young's
50
NASCAR?
cat, 33 months.
What's up, Stopping Go Steve?
It's not over.
I think it's next weekend. Armature Works. What's up, Montplaisir? Probably Nash's young boy Mitch.
The Carpenter 76, one good month.
Stop and go. What's up, Gary Cantrell? Dark Match. Good morning.
Bald Eagle Jones, 46 months.
Do you know what he said? Lummy? Cal Gundy, do you know what he actually said?
No. Bald Eagle Jones, 46. Bubba, I'm out 40 months to you.
Fish on the J, $11.
Thank you, Fish on J.
Are we working on fish?
Yes, sir. Pound's up and running.
You seen the light?
I've not seen the light yet.
I think that's a pretty broad statement. In general, I don't think you've seen the light.
I have not seen the light in any way.
In any way, shape, or form.
Nope. Let's see.
Let me check our YouTube, motherfucking subscribers. Motherfuckers better get your shit together.
Get your shit together, everyone.
We got 94 to go, Lummy.
Let's go. That's easy, guys. 94.
Come on, guys. Stop fucking with me.
What's the fucking word?
Let's see if I get this one done too. Thank you, Dinner Diaco's Giant Dong in 38 months. Dr. Dan's favorite screen name.
What's up? I don't know. It's probably 25. Svilbrianda.
Oh shit, I don't like G60, huh? Probably a problem with the Pirates too.
Live from the Sunbelt Rental Studios, it's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show. If you go to BubbaArmyMerch.com, there's a lot of great stuff up there, including the new 12-ounce slender koozie, hard koozie cover, like the Trulies and the White Claws, the things that I want to drink. They fit in there nicely. Also, the 12-ounce hardcover koozies as well. That's all at BubbaArmyMerch.com. Let me flags, flaps, and fleece coming soon.
Oh, can't wait.
There's a few 30-ounce tumblers left. And the new QR code Bubba Army shirts. And the Bubba Army Flex Fit hat with a slightly larger logo. Having to go to the post office or the UPS store can be a major pain in the ass, especially when it's just so much more important for you to be focusing on your business instead of having to make trips to the post office or UPS. If you use Stamps.com,
promo code Bubba.
It's your 24-hour source for the post office and the UPS. You can access it from anywhere, skip the headaches, and all go to Stamps. And again, go to Stamps.com.
Promo code Bubba.
For more than 20 years, and been one of the most valuable tools for over 1 million businesses. All you need is your regular computer and printer. No special supplies or equipment. Plus, Stamps.com seamlessly works with Spotify, Amazon, Etsy, eBay, and even more. Up to 30% off discounts from the post office. From the post office, and 86% off UPS. Don't mail and ship the hard way. Sign up with Stamps.com. Promo code Bubba today. Sign up with my promo code Bubba for a special offer that includes a 4-week trial, plus free postage and a digital scale, no long-term commitments and or contracts. Go to Stamps.com.
Promo code Bubba.
Click on the microphone on the top homepage and type in Bubba. That's Stamps.com.
Promo code Bubba.
What did this coach, in fact, Dan started to ask it during the hot mic. I'm like, we'll get into it, during the next segment. But there was this wide receiver coach for Oklahoma, and it was during a team, or I think maybe individual meetings, meaning like the wide receiver group got together and they watched tape or something like that.
Yeah, that's what it was.
I think that's the way they do it. They break it down individually, where the running backs get together with their coach and they watch the tape. The linemen get together with their coach, they watch the tape. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if they even watch it as a team. Do they?
Yeah, they do, and they were on their iPads, like we're doing film session.
Right. And this wide receiver coach, Cale Gundy, said a word. And now just the utterance of this particular word, which they aren't telling you what it is. And it's not really easy to figure out either.
Because if it was the N-word, they'd say the N-word, right?
I'm thinking.
You would think. It's pretty descriptive. I mean, it's pretty easy to allude to it without saying it. Everyone knows what you're talking about.
He said he read it off the distracted player's iPad, and it's
hold
a
on.
hurtful word.
It wasn't even his word?
No, it was someone else's words. He's reading it off a player's iPad. So a player likely typed it.
And so he read it.
Yes.
Yeah. And the player's not in trouble. He is.
Last week during a film session, I instructed my players to take notes, Gundy said in a statement in part. I noticed a player was distracted and picked up his iPad and read aloud the words that were written on his screen.
Like a teacher would do in class if she found a note being passed between two kids. Remember? That was standard operating procedure back in the day.
And your mom was a fifth grade teacher.
Yep.
So she probably intercepted many a notes.
Oh, and she'd read them.
That said, look at Sally's butt, how pretty it is today.
I don't know if that was the note, but, you know.
That's what I was sending to Larry Plummer. Look at Lori Howard's ass. Don't think I'm not going to go jay off to that later today.
Sneaking outside her window.
Yeah, I used to peep on her a little bit. So how could he be in trouble if he's reading another player's...
Said it out loud.
Because it was the most hurtful word ever uttered by
and hurtful.
Oh, well,
the
then
words,
we know the word.
The words displayed had nothing to do with football. One particular word I should never, under any circumstance, have uttered when displayed on the screen. In that moment, I did not even realize I was reading, and as soon as I did, I was horrified. I want to be very clear. The words that I read aloud from that screen were not my words. But what I said was not malicious. It wasn't even intentional. Still, I'm mature enough to know that the word I said could be shameful and hurtful no matter. Man, what have we become?
I don't think it was the N-word.
It must have been something else, like stolen election or something else that you can't say.
No, maybe it was like the R word or something.
Yeah, okay, so let's just say this. This player writes down, man, these meetings are R.
Right.
Okay? And so the coach comes by and he reads, oh, this meeting is R.
Uh-oh.
I mean...
Or like we're playing like R's or something.
But it wasn't even the coach's sentiment. It was this other guy's sentiment.
Yeah.
And why isn't the other guy in trouble? Why isn't the person, the wide receiver or the player that wrote this word, why are they not kicked off the squad? This guy lost his job. They fired this guy.
For 30 years, too.
Haven't we just become just absolutely a bunch of pussy snowflakes, woke ass bitches?
I wish they would talk about what actually happened. Like, what was the word? Like, how did, they don't really say exactly what happened.
I need to know more.
I find it very hard to believe that. I don't care what the word is. That he happened to look at a student's iPad, and as he's reading, he said a word, and because of that, now he has to resign. Like, what?
It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense at all, to the point where I can't even make any sense about it. I mean,
it's
and if that's all there is,
then
okay,
please fix this world.
It's this is the coach statement from the head coach of Oklahoma. What is his name? Brent Venables.
Yeah.
It's with sadness that I accept Coach Gundy's resignation. He's dedicated more than half of his life to Oklahoma football and has served as our program and university well. See, why doesn't that matter for something? Why doesn't the nearly 30 years that he's put in and all the young men that he's coached and made into better young men and been a positive influence into the community and why isn't that factored into the guy made a mistake?
Wait, and he resigned, right? It's not like he was fired.
Well,
I mean, he jumped in front of it.
He legally resigned.
Right.
Whether they told him, "Hey, look, we're going to fire," I don't know. I'm sure that's what happened.
Probably went like something like this on hey, you resign and you'll get a severance package.
Right.
You don't resign and we fire you for cause and you get nothing.
Yeah.
So the severance and these guys, these level of coaches make like $500,000-$600,000 a year.
Yeah.
Right.
For
Especially
real.
at Oklahoma.
Yeah, I mean, so if you have the ability to resign and get the remaining of your contract,
yeah,
then you say you do it this way. And you know what? Shame on Oklahoma for not having this guy's back, if indeed it's just what we know. Now, if it's something that we don't know, we have the ability to say, oh, okay, well, we understand now the severity of it. But if it's just the way it's presented, then it doesn't seem like I don't want to say that big a deal, but at what point does the university stand behind their guy and say, hey, this is our guy. He's been here for 30 years, and he's done some great things, and he's really important to the program, and he uttered some words from a player's iPad that were inappropriate, and we don't stand for those words. And Coach McGillicuddy here is going to be suspended for 2 weeks and take a sensitivity training deal, and he'll be returning after he's completed this sensitivity deal. Why can't you do that?
Well, could we
because he's a white male?
Yes.
Could we at least know?
I mean, Blitz, I'm not trying to cause no problem, but that's the problem.
Supposedly, I guess one of the kids posted anonymously online and said that the coach took an iPad that a kid was using and it had rap lyrics on it. He hooked it up to the projector, started reading along to the rap lyrics, said a word that's offensive, kind of obvious, I would think, what word it is.
Right.
He immediately apologized, and I guess the one player said that the kids in the room were like, "Who cares? Move on." And somehow an administrator heard about it and then forced them to resign.
Man, I'll tell you what they should do is they should go as they're investigating this, go to the players and say, guys, was it offensive? Did it upset any of you? Did he apologize? Did he think? Do you think that it was meant to be mean spirited and targeted towards you? No. Do you think that we should fire him and he loses his job?
The coach, I think this is a tweet from the coach, possibly. It might even be part of that statement. It says, they talked to a few of the current players about the situation earlier today. It seemed like the team had talked through it, and a vast majority wanted him to stay, but ultimately he did what he thought was best for the program and retired.
That means the program
Kicked
is
his
a
ass.
bunch of
Kicked him
pussies.
out.
Right.
And
You think he was Megyn Kelly'd?
Yeah.
They made it about this, but it was really about something else.
Yeah, I think so.
That's what I think.
He's making $580,000.
I'm thinking, Lana, that the program and the young men that he coaches didn't really have a problem with it.
Right.
They talked about it as a team. The majority of the guys, the majority of the teams, like, hey, let's move on, screw this.
Yeah.
And then some snowflaking, administrator wanted to set an example, and they did.
Or they wanted him gone anyway, and this was the reason.
This was the excuse they gave.
If they wanted him gone, if they really wanted him gone, for a reason, I don't think they would have maybe put it up for a team vote.
And knowing all this publicity, if they were just trying to fire him, it's so much easier just to fire him.
He's just an assistant coach. He's not the head
he's a
coach.
nobody.
Right. This is a really small situation on the level of which it happened, meaning the street level of this happening, meaning the players, the small group of people that this all derived from is not really that big of a deal. And it got made. This is literally a molehill that got made into a mountain.
Yeah.
And an opportunist, a snowflake administrator had an opportunity to flex. To woke ass flex, and this guy.
Well, I'm even willing to bet that there was an administrator that just didn't like the guy.
Yeah.
And was like, hey, you know what? I'm going to get this guy fired, and this is what I'm going to use.
And you get fired.
Yeah.
And you get fired. And the team, when they had a chance to talk about it, and the players all didn't have a problem with it. That should be the jury, should it not?
Yeah.
The jury should be the young men that are on the team and exposed to this guy every day. And if they don't have a problem with you, then I don't think we have a problem. I mean, we have a problem, but we don't have a death sentence. You know, the guy loses his livelihood. The problem is, and I hate to say it, I hope I don't get in trouble for this, is he's a white male, and it's open season on white men. Right now, if you're a white male, you're automatically guilty.
Yep.
It was probably a personal grievance with that administrator and this guy. And he just decided to take advantage of it.
It also says a majority of the players wanted him to stay. So if
there's some mouthy people that said he should be fired.
Right.
That racist MFer should be fired.
And that can ruin the reputation of the program.
It sure
know,
can.
If it gets out and, hey, they accept this sort of language here. And so they don't want to F with that.
It's the guy who wasn't going to play at all, and he's going to say, this racist coach didn't let me play.
Hold on. Kind of like the way that Coach Levitt's got taken out at USF.
Yeah, for grabbing the guy's mask, which has been done for decades in football.
And this walk-on guy, I think you're pretty close to this. I think you were either on the team or new guys.
Joe Miller.
New guys. And so, Levitt's, listen, for years and years, the coach would grab a guy's face mask and be like, you guys got to stop playing like a bunch of pussies. Like, I swear to God, guy loses his crap. A lot of it's for show. He twisted a few face masks, and that's the way it was. Levitz did that to a kid.
Was it a black kid? Is that the problem?
No, it was a white kid, short little white kid that barely made the team, and he lawyered up with a legendary guy in town who's now dead called Barry Cohen, and Barry just was a very
prestigious lawyer.
But it was kind of a joke towards the latter part of his career. He kind of turned into a little bit of a joke, didn't he, Dan?
Yes.
I mean, he went from being a very prestigious lawyer to
kind of
being a clown.
But he won, right?
And he was always part of some very high-profile cases and things like this. Well, this guy lawyers up with Barry Cohen. Barry Cohen knows how to make a dog and pony show out of anything. That's what you hired Barry Cohen to do, is to create a dog and pony show to distract you from the real problem, like i.e. the Eisenbergs.
So what did he say? That the coach was abusing kids or something?
Yeah, exactly.
He said he got grabbed by the throat and struck him twice in the face.
So because he knew that USF would settle and write, $1 million keep this kid quiet check. And next thing you know, Coach Levitz, who was the greatest football coach in the history of the University of South Florida, at one time took a brand new program, and within 7 years have them at one time ranked as the number 2 team in the nation.
Yes, he did. It was amazing what he did.
Wow.
Absolutely incredible.
And there hasn't been, in fact, everybody since has been an ass bucket.
Everyone.
From Lou Holtz's kid to Ty Willingham to every other ass
when
bucket
did this
that's
happen?
coming.
What year?
Oh God, I don't know when they canned him. And then he went on.
That's when the whole world became. Once that happened, Bubba, I knew that football as a sport was ruined. When a coach couldn't yell at a player like that and he would get fired for just grabbing a player and disciplining him, that I knew at that point that football is done.
Well, it was a perfect example of what you're saying. The administration hated Levitt because he walked around like he was God.
He was.
That's what they felt like. Judy Gunshaft did not like him at all.
Well, and they should realize now, major universities, sometimes the head football coach is God.
It is.
Bobby Bowden,
God.
Joe Paterno went out kind of like a chump.
But he was a God for decades.
Lou Holtz.
Nick Saban, though.
Nick Saban. There's just, that's just the college, Dabo Sweeney, Coach Spurrier when he was at, Urban Meyer.
Yep.
These guys, that's kind of the college template, is the head coach of the football team, that the football team that's a very powerful, only if that's only Jimbo Fishers. That's only if your football team is, a top 10 program. That guy rolls around like he's God. And I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. Nobody knows who, the president of Alabama is. Everybody knows who the head coach is.
Right.
Yep.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And all too often, the presidents who make, $300,000 or $400,000 as a salary to be the president of Alabama, well, your head football coach is making $9 million.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just the way the business works.
They generate the money. They
And so
generate the money.
probably
It's
in
all
this-
about that.
In this Oklahoma deal, this guy as a wide receivers coach is making $550. Meanwhile, you got a tenured, probably medical or math or some type of, very high level, long tenured professor, Dan. I don't think professors probably ever make more than like 200 ever.
No, unless they have a book deal. Not from the university.
But I'm just saying.
Yeah, some probably make close to $500,000. Depends on the professor and what kind of research they're doing
But you
in
got
medical
this
school.
athletic director or this assistant AD or some woke ass person that's making $85,000, and they see the wide receiver coach making $550, and there becomes an instantaneous
animosity.
Right.
This also might explain a little bit more of it, I guess, because I was reading some posts online. In the past few years, Oklahoma University has had some fraternities that have had to been expelled for being racist, and they've used the N-word a bunch. A couple of kids in blackface got kicked out of the school recently. There's been a lot of racist stuff at that university. So I guess the administration's super.
But here's the deal: some things that they call racist stuff, I don't want to say aren't racist, but they aren't.
But to have the death penalty for a word that's used by 20% of America on a regular basis is just unconscionable.
Hold on. Remember the sorority in, I forget, one of the Cornell or, Harvard or Yale or whatever. So I don't know where it was. Anna, you might remember. And they were singing Gold Digger by Kanye West.
Right.
And they were a bunch of white girls, maybe some Latino girls, and they were just, dancing like, silly ass, juniors and seniors in college. Having a sorority party, and they were only singing the song the way
it was a UNH.
Yeah, University of New Hampshire.
Yeah, right? University of New Hampshire. You got some white chicks in the tri-delt gimmicks, and they're not improvising or making it. They're just singing the song the way the artist wrote it. And remember how much trouble they got into?
Yeah.
You can't even sing a song the way a person truly writes it.
One of the worst times was a Kendrick Lamar concert. This happened probably 4 years ago. He brings this white girl on stage to sing along and then berates her in front of the entire crowd for singing the words.
So ridiculous.
And then he's like, let's try this again. He's trying to school her. It was just the most insane. He was setting her up.
I remember that.
It was insane.
He brought her up, asked her to sing along.
She's like, I know all the words. And so she's singing along, and then he stops the song. They start again. She does it again. The crowd's booing her. It's what are you doing? Publicly humiliating this person who you told to sing along to the song that you wrote, bitch.
Yeah,
I've hated him ever since.
And that's what we're dealing with here. And I don't know where it ends. What if?
Yeah, 2 years ago, a professor used the N-word during a lecture, and they fired him at OU. The Sigma Alpha Epsilon.
And I'm not trying to downplay the significance of how hurtful the N-word and how wrong potentially the N-word.
It also
could
depends on how it's used. If it's
the N-word is very much is very much and should be considered, and how mad you are about it. Now, I'm not an African American that can tell you how mad you're supposed to get it, but it needs to be used. How mad somebody gets needs to be how it's used in context.
Sure, if a professor is using it to talk about things that have happened and things that have been said, fine. If he's using it as a derogatory statement towards a student, well, that's not good. Fire him.
Or if you're reciting it as a matter of history or as a matter of lyrics that somebody else has written, you're only reciting what's been already written by potentially an African American. How can that be a problem? So now parroting and emulating spoken word and art.
It's the most ridiculous thing ever. If the word was so offensive, it would just be eradicated from the lexicon completely.
Isn't that fundamentally as bad of as much as you can
it's
go
the
against
worst
the First
thing that you
Amendment?
could ever say to anyone ever, yet, like Dan said, 13% of the population is allowed to say it freely. Which makes it super confusing, especially when a lot of people put it in music, art, and things like that.
And then when you emulate that,
and then even if you've ever been to a club and they're playing the unedited version of a song, look around, everyone's singing, and white people just stop for a second, and other people can say whatever they want, and then the song proceeds. It's the most bizarre thing ever.
It's the most divisive thing we've had in our society.
I was gonna stick up for the Sigma Alpha Epsilon because it said they used the racist word while singing a song, and then I looked up the song. It wasn't just a song they were singing.
They made up their own song.
It was bad. Okay, so I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna.
Alex Jones did I not tell you he was going to get hammered?
Yeah,
I told
almost
you.
50 million.
Told you he was going to get hammered. He's done. And here's why he's done. You can file bankruptcy all you want. You probably will never pay them a dime. You'll get a credit. They'll try to garnish your wages. You'll do a bunch of cute games. But here's the problem you're going to have, Alex, is that I think, Dan, potentially could these people, petition the people that provide his bandwidth and servers? Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
for what?
Well, I mean,
they don't want to destroy him because he won't be able to pay. They want to keep him alive. It's like a virus. You don't want to destroy the host. You want to keep sucking off the host.
But when you have this public of a trial, again, sponsors and people that you do. I mean, look, our Twitter got taken away. Our Twitter got taken away for some absolute bullcrap.
Go ahead, Dan.
I don't think he did a 50 million, because if it's one victim, 50 million, and there's what, 20 victims, 22 victims.
Yeah, he's got like I think 2 or 3 more lawsuits.
They're going to take him out for $200 million because he was talking, giving his opinion. I don't think that's. I don't think that's appropriate.
Did he ever summons or tell people to go to these? Is there tape or any audio footage of him asking people to harass these mom and dads?
I don't think so, but I could be wrong.
I know that I've heard people say that. I don't think I've heard the audio, so I don't know.
He would say like, they're crisis actors or something, and then other people took it upon themselves to harass them. But I don't think he ever called anyone to go harass them.
He did not. Otherwise, you would hear it. You'd have the clip right now.
So
they'd be plastering it everywhere.
There's a few things. I looked into this. So one, his lawyer says that he's going to get it. He assumes he's going to get it reduced to probably about 1 to 1.5 million because he's going to go basically tell a family, "Hey, look, if we file for bankruptcy, you'll get nothing. If you take a lower settlement, we might be able to pay you." The other thing is the same week the default judgment was entered, which I guess was a couple years ago, his company filed for bankruptcy. That same week, he also withdrew $62 million worth of cash from his bank account.
He did?
Yeah, and they can't find it.
I think they said he was putting it in the shell companies all around.
Yeah, they can't find the money he took out of his bank.
He had $62 million to take out, though?
He had a lot more than that, but he only took out $62 million.
Speaking of high rollers, remember when I couldn't figure out who Melissa Carpenter is?
Yeah.
I still don't know who she is, but she threw down another $500 on the Venmo.
Just now? What?
Just now.
That deserves a horn.
That's a train horn all day.
I just don't know who she is. But she's halfway to
Show
BARP.
yourself.
She's halfway to BARP. 500 last week, 500 this week. Both on the Venmo. Venmo, Cash App, and PayPal at the Bubba Army. Thanks, Melissa Carpenter. I can't wait to see you at BARP.
The Bubba Radio Network will return after this.
Hey, Bubba. Hey, just so you know, he sent a message. He has a hard out at 8:30, but just so you know.
He's got a hard out?
Yeah, at 8:30.
And we're gonna keep him hard in at 8.
Good, Dan.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep it.
But he has to be done by 8:30. He has a class to teach.
All right. So Dan, I'm gonna need you heavy on this.
Okay.
Because it's doctor to doctor, and
I got
you're
you.
concussed.
Sure. Absolutely, I'm prepared. It's a big line.
Now, is this drug over the counter or prescription?
It's right now. It's in development stages in phase 2.
Yeah, it's not even available to layman. My understanding was.
What time is it? 8.
8. Yeah.
Okay, at 8.
Yeah.
Should I break it 56, or should I break it 54? So I'm not.
If you do, then I'll come in and set your Zoom up. If not, I'll do it now. Because you can't play audio after you set the Zoom up. So.
Okay. So.
All right. So you can get another break.
Yeah, I'm gonna do another break.
Okay. Then I'll come in and set
that
it
way
up.
I can go on with them.
Oh, perfect. Then I'll set it up.
Yep, fin 212. And I just don't like when people get, penalized for using words. don't care if you agree or disagree with them. I just don't like people getting penalized for words. I think it's bullshit. Whether it's one word or your opinion on something. What's up, DDP and Organic Gene? I'm just trying to be consistent because I'm not a hypocrite. Even though you don't like what they say, most people have the right to say it. I'm not defending anyone specifically, just defending the right to speak.
What's up, Rudy?
BDM Seth, go fuck yourself. I can block you right now, BDM Seth.
Oh, Dan,
Just start fucking with me.
Dan's fucking, I can see him. He's fucking tensed up. I can see my man.
He's getting angry.
He just looks at that chat, just wanting to fucking cobra him.
Slip that in.
You need to squeeze squoze. Come here.
I am a little tight.
Yeah, you're way tight.
Squeeze squoze.
No, you got one at the beginning.
Barely. You're just.
When you say me squeeze?
You got a big ass core on you, man. Dan's got a fucking core on him.
You got someone here. Thanks.
What a beast.
You're the in best shape, most really not working out motherfucker I know.
I don't work out hardly at all.
Like, I don't understand how you're so tight and got such a fucking good core. You must have really good genes.
It is good genes, but I worked out a lot of years too. So I think if you have a history of working out,
Jimmy workout.
No, those hurt.
But
those were too long too.
But I mean, you got such a fucking solid core. You would think you'd do 1,000 sit-ups a week. Dan's
Just
also
lucky.
him be fucking.
It's because I sleep hanging upside down like a bat. You're jealous he didn't squeeze you, Lummy?
Hmm?
And you're not jealous he didn't squeeze you? Right?
No, I'm
I said you were going to be jealous.
Morning, Mezzo Testicle. JOW 33917, 24 months.
So let me get me some copy or something, a graphic, so that I can
Post it everywhere?
yeah, and I'm gonna actually make a commercial, a bump-in commercial.
Would you be able to do a Facebook in the Bubba Army, like an event?
Yeah.
Is that where you can put the link and everything?
Yeah, if you teach me how to do that.
Yeah, okay. Silver Rockwell, good morning.
What's up, Ned's left testicle?
Yes.
Good morning.
Good.
92 away.
Let's go, everyone. Only 92. What's up, Silver Rockwell? We can get that easy. Good luck, Keith. Good morning. Dr. Van get in the taping position.
Lummy, I need those breaks that I gave you last week. Did Blitz give them to you?
Yeah.
I need them.
Okay. No problem.
Email. Bell Rental Studios. It's the Bubba the Love Spot I'm going to have to short space you today because I have a hard 8. I wish I had a hard 8.
You will keep practicing with that.
Yeah, if I keep getting that pump. But I got a Zoom interview with a guy named Dr. Jacob Vandingham, and he is a concussion. But let me know where my music just stopped.
Van Landingham.
That must be one of the ones that skip.
Yeah, Van
Because we played that song
Landingham.
last week and it skipped on us.
He's a PhD in molecular neuroscience from FSU. Dan, are you going to give him a chance? He's not a Gator. He's a
Seminole, but that's
Seminole.
cool. It's a PhD. He knows his stuff.
And they're in the middle of an R&D on a pill, a medication that I think's going to give instant relief to concussions. Dan, do you think that maybe on the sidelines, if they develop this pill that literally when they put a guy in a blue tent, they give him one of these pills as a precautionary deal?
I think that's the goal, is to put it in there as quickly as possible, because the sooner you can get to an injury and stop the inflammation, the better.
And are you going to ask him some of the science behind it?
Yeah,
Dan's going to ask him for a script.
Dan's going to ask him
for
a
you got some
script.
samples? who am I talking to?
Ask him if he could be a guinea pig here, huh?
Yeah,
Anyway,
I'm all for it.
I got like 5 minutes, and then I got to be out. Back into commercials so that we have, 30 minutes uninterrupted with this guy. I don't want to short space the guy. Here's the verdict that was read to Alex Jones Friday.
Rudy, $40 on the super chizat.
Thank you.
$4,200,000.
All right, let me start this
Question
again.
number 1. $4,200,000.
So she's reading the verdict now of the punitive and compensatory damages, correct? One is 4 point what? Which one's the first one here?
Question number 1.
4.2.
That was the compensatory.
Right.
And then he wasn't even there for the other hearings.
4.25. So he's not even here for this?
If this was just a compensatory, I think he was there for a little bit of this, but for the rest of them, he wasn't there at all.
Question number 2. $20,500,000.
Okay, yeah, no, he wasn't here for this one.
Question number 3. $20,500,000. All right. This question is addressed to my jury. Is this your verdict? So say each and all of you.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Would the attorneys like to examine the verdict?
No.
All right. Then I'm going to accept this as a verdict of the jury and order that the clerk enter it upon the minutes of the court. All right. At this time, I am
Yeah, she's happy as hell, too. She didn't like this guy from day one.
required by the rules of the Supreme Court of Texas to give you one more of the many, many instructions I have given you over the past 2 weeks. I have previously instructed you that you should observe strict secrecy during the trial and during your deliberations.
But now you're free to talk, aren't you?
Yeah.
You should not discuss the case.
Are they already cutting deals, probably, with people?
Probably. I heard one of the I don't think it was the main prosecutor, but one of the team or something came out. They asked him, why was it so much money? And he's like, well, we're glad it's that much money because it's going to show radio hosts now that their words they should be held accountable for their words.
Yeah, well, I'm way ahead of this game.
I know. That's what he was saying.
So this is MJ a goal. Like, I've already suffered through one of these, and I won. Right? I won. How much remember Phil Campbell? How much did we give him? 500, 200, 250, 255 million? Then I had MJ up there sniveling, wanting a bunch of money. Right? I mean, everybody didn't realize I've already been through one of these, right? And won. Defended by your brother.
And, I was told that during the trial, he couldn't bring up his First Amendment rights. I don't know. Maybe it's reversible error. This will probably be appealed. There's no way he's just stroking a check for this much money.
No.
Zero chance.
He says he doesn't have it, yeah.
You and I know the politics that happened.
There's no way. This is
after the verdict.
Exactly.
There is a whole set of negotiations. It happened in my trial. It happened in my trial 100%. Like, we had to sit here and we had to almost retry it again amongst the lawyers, right?
Right. And there's some major errors here. Number one, his lawyers completely dropped the ball, and all that private information went to the other side. So there's, again, malpractice on the lawyer's part. and the some of the inabilities for him to defend himself may become what they call reversible error on appeal. So, again, this is not the last you heard of this verdict.
But will it change the
Could significantly. The whole thing could get thrown out.
But hold on, the trial itself, or just the this part of it? Because when you don't do what the judge says and they enter default judgment, it's really hard to get that overturned.
I understand that, but when they are making certain motions in limine where you can't talk about certain things,
procedurally, you're saying within the trial there might be some room for appeal, which could throw everything out.
Throw everything out. And then also, even if there's no appeal and everything stays the way it is, he has a massive cause of action against his team.
Oh, there's no question
because
there.
Those texts came out between the verdict and these massive judgments.
Oh,
And
by the way, it wasn't just texts. It was
everything, all communication.
It was all communications, including all him and his lawyers' communications on how they're going to do this, what evidence they're going to give away, all his medical records,
all work product.
Employees that he knew or had or something, that all of their medical records, it was everything. It was absolutely everything.
I got to go to work, so I'm not late for the doctor. Hold on.
The Bubba Radio Network will return after this.
You're good. If anybody has good recommendations for restaurants in Daytona Beach area, let me know. I'm looking up all sorts of things. I don't think so. Am I on Team MAGA? I don't give a fuck. Good morning, DDP for life.
Go ahead, bud.
Good morning, Watchman Willie.
I look fat as hell.
Oh, yeah.
This is something horrible.
Is Team
Doc should look at me and be like, I
Cheese.
need to
I
fucking
am.
work on some weight loss.
Catfish
for
and
this guy, 'cause
Daytona.
they need to calm down.
No.
Just calm down. His fucking whole face looks like a concussion.
And then
Yeah, why is I don't like to associate with any group
come up on
blindly. I think
Yeah.
that's stupid.
here, you might have to
Turn
I don't
one
remember,
restaurant?
I think
That's
add
good.
audition. We'll try that.
Okay. I wonder if he has to be in pre. No, pre only feeds the Yamaha.
Right. I need to contact them this week too to find out they fix it or what to do.
Am I going to be able to see Doc?
Yeah, when he comes on.
Oh, he's well, we're looking at this in a minute. There's the Doc right there. No, he's not going to be able to hear us.
Turn
Not
one
yet.
restaurant is good. Is it
Yeah,
a
right, Doc,
vegetarian
no.
food?
3 minutes and 30 seconds.
You can't play any audio after
Right.
now.
Here, I'll
And
Doc right here. 3
3
minutes and 30 seconds.
Stuff.
Look at that!
Yeah, and it worked.
It worked. Perfect.
Ignite your. Can you just show me the whole menu? Browse the beef side, of course. Yeah, no. This is all seafood. I don't eat seafood, neither does Blitz. Yes, America First is great, but
Doc.
that's not just all MAGA is about.
Lummy, oh, it's Lummy. Dumb as hell.
Dr. Dan's coming with his monster.
You asked me if I was MAGA. Bitch.
All right, Doc. The doc's here.
808, 25 months.
I wonder if the doc has ever
hell
been
yeah,
on
I
the
do.
air with another doc.
Oh, yeah.
Doc on doc.
Doc on doc.
And you don't even look like a doctor, Dan. You look like a model. You don't even look like a doctor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Hendo.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
With a lawyer kicker.
With a lawyer.
Dan, does that put you like in a whole other pimp level when you're talking to doctors and you're like, oh, I'm a lawyer too?
They like it. Doctors like it. They like it. They're amused by it. Lawyers are annoyed by it. They don't like it.
Lawyers hate you, but docs like you.
Yes.
Huh, interesting.
They think I'm championing their cause.
But lawyers hate you.
They don't like me, and nor do experts that I depose. Apparently, that guy did not have a good time.
That's off testicle, good warning. Ned the Yank, the gun guy. Hollow 21.
What's up, Nick?
All right, I'm gonna give the doc a note. 1 minute. One minute, Doc.
Dirt man, I don't control that.
106. Here we go.
What's up, Max? This is George Shade. Nick, good morning.
Mount Plaisir, 73, 1,000 bits.
It's right 8 o'clock. We're right on time. Imagine that. 30 seconds. I'm glad we got Dan here because we can do some real doc talk.
Doc
Yeah,
talk.
doc
Something
talk.
stupid compared to a real doctor. Dan, you're not only a real doctor, but you're one that's concussed, too.
You really got it all.
Here we go.
Live from the Sunbelt Rental Studios, it's the Bubba the Love Spot Show.
Now, I think we're on with the doc now, live. Let me see if you can hear me. Doc, can you hear me?
I can hear you, brother. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, doctor. I got to tell you, for a regular-looking doctor, you look pretty thick and rugged. Like, you're like Johnny. You're not Johnny Nerdsville, like I thought you'd be.
Oh, man, I hear you. I appreciate that, I think.
This is Dr. Jacob Van. Now, how do you say your last name?
Van Landingham. So, like driving a van, landing a plane, and ham, not turkey.
That's almost like 3 last names. Van Landingham. Now,
it's been a tough road.
Now, Doc, I got an interesting dynamic today in the fact that one of my co-hosts is a doctor, and he actually is suffering through a concussion right now. And Dan, how long were you a team doctor for the Bucks?
6 years.
And he was a part of a team doctor of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for 6 years. So he probably really knows what you're slinging right now.
Right. Well, good to meet you, Dan.
Likewise. Thanks for all the good work you're doing.
Oh, man, I'm trying my best. It's been a long journey.
So
Doc,
finally
starting to make some hay.
You're in the middle of developing through, I think it's Odyssey Health Incorporated, a medication that can maybe be administered maybe as concussions are happening. Like, for instance, when the NFL puts a guy behind the 10 is that what you guys are working on right now?
That's exactly what we're working on. We're working on a sideline acute treatment, a pharmaceutical. It's brand new. It's spray dried, and it goes into an intranasal device. If the player is concussed, they can actually blow the powder into the nose, which closes the back of the throat and traps the drug in the nasal cavity so it can diffuse straight to the brain in minutes. So really, plus by having it spray dried, Dan, it's able to be stable at real high temperatures without any type of breakdown of the drug structure.
That's ingenious. Now, what does that
drug do, Doc? Like, is it go in there and start like, working vascularity within the brain?
Right. I mean, the main thing it does is diffuse into the nucleus, or the inside where your DNA is of your traumatized brain cells. And it stimulates the production of 3 different proteins. One is an anti-inflammatory, one is an anti-swelling molecule, and one is an antioxidant. So it's one drug that functions like a cocktail of drugs with an amplified response because it's going on at the DNA level. So
now stroke prevention and treatment is so time sensitive. How time sensitive is this kind of treatment? How have you learned as you're researching it, how important is it to get it to the affected player quickly as opposed to an hour or a day or 2 days later?
Right. Yeah. Well, ideally you'd get it there in an hour. Most of our work has shown that it's still going to be pretty positive results if it's within 6 hours. So you truly do need to be getting it there in the acute setting. And it's very safe. So, I mean, it's 380-fold plus safe. So even if you suspected a concussion, I think you would feel comfortable as a physician, trainer, whatever, distributing it. But it's there to manage twice a day for 14 days. But that initial acute treatment, Dr. Dana, is very important. Yeah. So within 6 hours.
And so now, how close are you to getting this? I mean, are you guys in the final trials of it? Are you guys, how close are you on it for it? Because it sounds like it'd be unbelievable. Like everybody, every team, from all different types of sports, from racing to, hockey to,
soccer.
Soccer. Just, there's head trauma almost in every.
Kids in the playground.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's an issue with pediatrics and with elderly falls.
Right.
Military is huge. So we're just wrapping up the multiple ascending dosing where you give doses for many, many days in healthy volunteers. We're working with the military all the way from the Army, Air Force, and Navy SEALs now, lining up trials here in the United States. We've got a trial we're setting up for phase 2 in Australia as well with their emergency room departments. So we're going to hit main areas, military and ER, and then we're going to move into sports. Hopefully, we've had talks with several of the major D1 athletic medical centers, and that would enroll more than football, like you say. So we're moving into phase 2 last quarter of this year. Phase 2, our hope is that with some success in phase 2, we may be able to get special population approval by the FDA to go ahead and start treating military on a regular basis. But we'll have to go into phase 3 next year or the following year to be able to get it approved by the FDA for athletics.
Now, Doc, are you afraid, and I'm not trying to be like, I don't want you to get mad at me or nothing, but this is how things work. But are you afraid that you're onto something so good that could touch so many different people, not just from athletics, but from, school teachers having it on the playground to, EMTs carrying it like they would Norcan or anything, like just, anybody that's any type of life, whether it's military. Are you afraid that this absolutely ingenious could touch anybody's could when the big pharma come in and try to buy you out? Are you afraid about that?
No, you want that. I think you want the big pharma to come in after phase 2 and support the phase 3 and into phase 4 where you've got to build a sales force to get it out there to the masses. So our goal is not to carry this thing as an independent company. We want to partner with big pharma. We've had some early discussions there already, specifically with big pharma groups that are in the nasal space,
right,
and big pharma groups that are also in the neuro space.
So the next time we talk, you might be from your G6. I'm just telling you. Don't forget the little guys that believed in this stuff before you got it out, buddy. Come on now.
Oh, buddy, I'll give it away if I'm that lucky. The key is to get it show through phase 2 that it's working. At least seeing some good trends there that it's working. And to Dr. Dan's point, the key to that's going to be that first acute treatment. I think working with military and even athletic medical centers, we're going to have an advantage, Dr. Dan, because we're not going to have to do a CAT scan and wait on it. We're going to be able to get that on the field diagnosis and immediately get that first treatment administered. So that's some other, everybody, either the drug works or it doesn't. Boy, it's not that way. There's so many things that go into drug development. They're almost as important as the mechanism of action of your drug. From how stable can you get it there? You know, hot temperatures, how's that gonna affect it? You know, just so many things that go into this.
Probably hot and cold temperatures. I mean, because it has to be,
Yeah,
you know,
you gotta
like
do
if
low
you're up north,
temperatures, too.
at a hockey game and a guy gets it, you know, could be 25 degrees, you know, outside.
Right. No doubt about it. So we still need to do the low temperature work. And you're exactly right. I mean, you know, from shipping it, whether it needs to be shipped cold or hot, we've kind of worked that out. We tend to keep that in the room temperature phase, and it's been good so far too.
Now, Dan, if you just most recently tell the doctor about it, you know, you went to the neurosurgeon on Friday because you had a huge slip and fall. And you can't sue yourself because you're a lawyer. Hey, Doc, not only is our doctor a doctor, but he's a lawyer, too. That's how fancy our guy is here. So, Dan...
Yeah, I slipped and I fell right on my eyebrow and knocked myself silly. Couldn't stand up for 5 minutes. I'm still post-concussive. I saw the neurologist Friday and failed parts of the tests and have an MRI scheduled for tomorrow. And it was over 3 weeks ago.
And so would this guy's stuff, Dan, be exactly what you would have needed way early on, maybe?
Yeah, it would have been helpful that first day or two. You know, what I think most people don't realize, Dr. Van Landingham, is that closed head... Okay, Jake. The closed head injuries don't require you to be knocked out, number one. And number two, the subtle effects last weeks after the initial insult. Those are two things that most people don't appreciate.
Yeah, I think people also don't appreciate that oftentimes when you develop post-concussion syndrome from just a mild concussion, those lingering effects can last longer than if you had a moderate brain injury where you actually had a bleed on the brain. I mean, concussion and the mild nature of it, we should get off of saying mild.
Yeah.
Because it certainly, that gives it sort of, hey, it's going to go away. There's about, you know, it used to be everybody said there was a miserable minority of about 15%. That means 15% of people, 15 out of 100 who had a concussion today were going to develop post-concussion syndrome. Post-concussion syndrome still means you got the symptoms still 90 days later, and could continue beyond that. I think it's more about 20 to 22% now of folks are having this post-concussion syndrome. And it can linger for years. Not months, but years.
We know we're very good friends with some former NFL guys that have had strokes and have had, you know, I'm talking, they played in the league like 8 or 9 years, and, you know, the NFL wasn't nearly as strict back then. I don't even know that they had a concussion protocol back when Ty J played, Dan, did they?
No, they didn't. That was something they started developing like in the early 2000s, around 2003, 2004.
You'd get your bell rung and the coach would see like, hey, what's your address and what day you burned? All right, now go back in there, and we can't be without our starting linebacker. Get your ass back in there.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, and that falls under orientation. You know, do you know what day it is? Do you know what time it is? That type of stuff. But that has nothing to do with memory and forming new memories and all the other cognitive tests that need to be done. So you can get some of the easy stuff right, but not be okay.
Yeah,
but,
I actually had a subdural hematoma in college, and I didn't have a lot of residuals from that. I got better, and I was fine.
Right.
This thing was a little bit more subtle, and I still get that frustration because I can still tell, like, if I'm going through a screen or if there's flashing lights or if I have to focus really hard, it's easy. My brain gets tired.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you get a direct blow with a subdural hematoma, and you're probably diagnosed with like a moderate TBI. There's a scale from severe, moderate to mild being concussion. You know, you don't have as much rotational and stretch injury with that. The concussion is really stretching the entire brain. So you're going to have a lot of electrical disconnectivity that can be variable, and it can be subtle but stay. Where that hematoma, you kind of get rid of it. You didn't have a lot of rotational stretch on the brain. You just had that direct force blow. You relieve that pressure area, and things are pretty much normal. That's not all the time, but I see what you're saying.
Doc, have you seen those Guardian little foam thingies that they're putting on the league? What's your opinion of that?
Well,
I think they look kind of goofy myself, and if they're going to do something like that, well, they just incorporate it into the helmet all the time.
Right. Well, there's been work done over the last 10 to 15 years on making better helmets. I think helmets in general, I think maybe the best helmet rating, you reduce concussion by about 23%. And that's probably one of those souped up chutes or Rydell's that's there. There was a company called Vices that had a good helmet that was doing better than those groups, but Vices, I think, priced themselves out of the game. And it wasn't going to be affordable for the standard middle school or high school to be able to get everybody that helmet. This Guardian thing, it's cost affordable. I did see the NFL was sort of trying to mandate that everybody wear it. I walk around these high school games here, high school practices over the last couple of weeks, and a handful of guys will have it. The first thing is, does it cause the head to weigh more, making it more wobbly, actually leading to a greater risk of rotational force and concussion? Or is that which I would think, or is that overcome by the fact that it's able to absorb more force on a direct blow? Most concussions are not direct head blows. Most concussions are, hitting the back of your head blow, but you got that whiplash. You don't even have to be hitting the head to get a concussion with a car wreck or a football sports injury. So anytime you've got a rotational component and you've got acceleration, deceleration, you can get a concussion. You do not have to be hitting the head.
Are the way I played in high school football in the 80s. I know that makes me sound pathetic and old, but but Doc,
I'm not behind you in the 90s, brother.
But I mean, really 90s. Boy, when they were teaching us how to play ball, they said lead with your head, face up,
The harder you can hit, the better.
I think they have to teach it differently now, don't they? I mean, just the way the league the way they penalize you for leading your head, like it's completely a whole different game.
Right. No, and they have been. I think they've done a pretty decent job of that. But you know what's going up? Shoulder injuries.
Oh, my shoulders are messed up.
Clavicle. You're getting a lot more AC joint separations, a lot more clavicle fractures. So when you get rid of the head, that's all great. You remove the concussion, but we need to develop some new technology for the shoulder pad now to try to overcome some of the compressive forces at the tip of the shoulder. So
as you're saying, as we've gotten better on the helmet technology, we've not really advanced. And what could you do to the shoulder pad? Back when I was playing, it was as big a set of pads you can get, but now they try to get the smallest pads so they're faster and more nimble. So, what have they done in the shoulder pad area at all? Are you familiar with what they've done in the shoulder pad area? I'm not.
I'm working with a group now, a new group that has taken the end of the shoulder pad and where your shoulder tips. So this is my shoulder pad, where this will not give. The pad won't give, but it's stiff. And because if it gives and compresses, you're going to get that force that is either going to separate the AC joint or cause a clavicular fracture. So by keeping the compressive force off the tip of the shoulder is what this new pad company is doing. So we'll see.
So almost like a hard shell that doesn't go with your shoulder, but just kind of maintains that hard shellness to protect your shoulder.
There. You just grind across the ground with it. You just grind across the ground instead of giving at the shoulder level.
What about knees, Doc? I don't think we're ever going to be able to do anything for knees, are we?
No, I don't know. The good news about knees is that you can get back from an ACL, which is the common one, pretty quick now, and people come back just as fast as faster because rehab has gotten so good with it. So, you used to have, if your kid was a senior in high school going to D1 and third game of the season, he blows his knee out, it's an ACL tear. He's ruined. Colleges don't consider him ruined yet. So now.
How about my boy? How about my boy for the Packers, David Bakhtiari, whatever? He's been out now for almost 2 years, I think, on an ACL. I think.
I hadn't heard of that guy, but that's very uncommon. Dr. Dan can talk to that a little bit better than me. I'm not a knee guy, but I certainly see these guys getting ACL tears and coming back and running the 40s just as fast.
Dan, who was your knee guy when you were in the league? Was it the Andrews guy?
And also Indelicato from Gainesville. He was Pete Indelicato was a big orthopod during the late 90s, early 2000s. Jake, did you have a catastrophic head injury early in life? Is that what got you involved in this or interested in this?
It was certainly one of the reasons. I was 21. Yeah, I walked outside of a restaurant in Gainesville, Florida, where all them damn dirty gators live.
Hey, by the way, Dad's a gator, by the way. Dad's a gator.
My older brother went to med school there. I got plenty
Well,
of
hold on.
gators.
Both of his brothers went to FSU.
And I went to Florida.
And he went to
for
Florida,
med
and then he
school.
used to go to FSU for all the girls and then come back home.
Yeah. My older brother went to med school at Florida. My younger brother went to med school.
So you're outside in Gainesville, and some dirty-ass gators ran over you.
Yeah, man. Some guy just blindsided me, never met me. He wasn't even in the restaurant, and hit my head on the curb. So I'm 6'2", so I had a long way to fall, and because I wasn't ready for it. So then I had 3 bleeds, and went home. And the next day I woke up and everybody was leaving to go back to Tallahassee, except my brother who was staying. He lived there. And later that night, I was all by myself on the floor. The phone rang. My dad, I answered it. And he was checking on me because I didn't come home. And my speech was slurred and I couldn't communicate. So he called a friend of his that came and broke through the window of the apartment, got me out, took me to the hospital. And I actually, Dr. Dan, got on Decadron, which was part of the crash trials that failed for severe to moderate TBI, but it kept me from having to be shunted and saved my life. So yeah, it was, I had amnesia for about 2 years, lost my sense of smell, which gradually, for the most part came back, dealt with the seizure stuff and all the seizure meds, couldn't drive. It was a rough go, but I was lucky. I got every bit of my faculties back, went back to be a physical therapist, worked with brain injured kids for about 3 years, and then back to do my PhD in molecular neuroscience.
Don't you wish you go find that guy, whip his ass right now?
Man,
say I'm a big time.
It was 300 plus. I will tell you this: my best friend Hank Alexander, that sumbitch got in a brawl with him after I was knocked out, and he came to see me in the hospital. That guy had drug his face across the asphalt. He looked like he'd had the hell beat out of him. God bless his soul, though. He helped keep me from getting.
Screw that guy that did it. You should say, I'm a big-time doctor now. I got big-time drug pharmacies going on now. Screw you, you lunk-headed son of a bitch, is what I would say.
So
Dan, when the doc talks about not being shunted, what does that mean?
Like a shunt. Remember we talked about putting the bolt in to take out the pressure?
Oh, really? That's what could have happened to the doc?
Elevated pressure. That's why they put him on the steroid.
The Frankenstein boat? The bolt?
Yeah, essentially.
That's where they have to put a hole in your head and
to decompress your brain because the swelling and the pressure is so high you can actually herniate your brain and die. It's what's trying to prevent. So when I had my subdural, they did not have to do the bolt, but they did put me on high dose steroids, and I was on Dilantin for like 6 months, which was brutal. Yeah. Being on Dilantin was really,
you'd rather not be on them. Yeah, Dilantin, Tegretol, they both suck.
Yeah, they do.
Now, what's the doc? What do they do now? What's the protocol now or medication that they potentially use now? Is it the stuff that you guys said sucked?
Well, yeah. Well, no. The stuff we're saying suck is for seizures and to help you not develop seizure disorder after a head injury. So you're always at risk for developing seizure disorder after you've had a moderate to severe brain injury for the rest of your life. You've got higher risk for Alzheimer's. That's also with concussion and other forms of dementia for the rest of your life. What they do, they'll still put these folks on steroids. They'll still sort of off-label. I think they'll off-label some progesterone neurosteroids, probably some methylprednisolone steroids. They'll do sometimes hyperbaric oxygen.
I've heard that's effective, the hyperbaric oxygen, but you got to do it 5 days a week for 4 weeks straight.
Yeah, it's a long time.
Meanwhile, if you just do some nose sprays, like some Afrin nose spray, blam, blam, and you're great, right?
So much easier.
That's right. That's the goal, brother. That's the goal.
I mean, you get your bell rung, you go in there, next thing you know, you're back on. I don't know if you're back in the game, but you're probably
no, we're not sending you right back in.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm a little tougher of a coach than you are, buddy. Yeah. No, spray that guy and get him back in. This no sprays fix it all.
Think the spray will work on Biden?
I think we can send it to our president, and he can nose spray it up. Does it make you smarter? I got a whole case of it immediately.
So, Doc, they put me on magnesium, coenzyme Q10, and citicoline.
Yep. Well, there's obviously, zinc's another good one that's out there. You tend to, sometimes people put them on iron supplements as well. Everybody thinks omega-3 fatty acids are the thing. I'm a big proponent when I talk to folks with concussion from a nutraceutical standpoint. First and foremost is getting on about 30 milligrams of zinc a day. I think, replenishing zinc, if you can, to the central nervous system is going to be a positive thing to reestablish memory and learning.
Man, you know what, Dan? You recommend zinc on some of your COVID stuff and things like that.
Oh, yeah, zinc was very helpful with COVID. Zinc and vitamin D were huge with COVID.
And the more I read about zinc, the more it's used for a lot of different things.
Yeah, I mean, zinc seems like it's pretty kick-ass, and I don't think zinc gets near the credit that maybe zinc deserves. Even Doc said with the concussion, zinc's in play.
About 90% of everything that affects your DNA and stimulates it to produce protein, those factors require zinc or they're non-functional. Zinc is humongous for the body. Vitamin D is another good one, Dan. Vitamin D is actually a neurosteroid. So you can get a lot of anti-inflammatory effects, and it will get to the brain. Zinc, it's hard to maintain or hard to push zinc into the brain. It's also hard for the brain to lose zinc, thank goodness. It tends to not give it up. But if you can give it a little oomph, I think it's a good thing.
Dan, when you talk to a guy like this instead of our stupid asses, does it really, really excite you, a guy that can talk doc with you instead of us just talking about, stupid stuff?
I love both.
Oh,
I love talking stupid stuff.
Are you
I
saying
like flexing.
you're saying you like a stupid people too?
Yes. but it's interesting to talk to someone that has,
his extensive knowledge and research and so highly specialized
and
into
a pioneer,
the neuro system.
And a pioneer. And when I was in medical school in the late 80s and early 90s, they kept saying the brain is the last unknown. This is the decade of the brain. It's the least understood part of the body. It still is, though, isn't it, Doc?
Yeah, it still is. There's no doubt about it.
Doc, have you guys, or what's your opinion on some of these former NFL guys, God rest their soul, like a Junior Seau or a Dave Durrison, that have that went on and did really very bad things to themselves, committed suicide under the guise of potential CTE, and this potentially what you're working on could maybe save some lives on a guy that never got any treatment at all, on a very combative sports like a Dave Durrison or a Junior Seau. Have they when they I think both of those guys donated their brains to science, and when they got into that, were you able to see some of the results at all with regards to the trauma their brains went through?
Oh yeah, well they definitely have what is called chronic traumatic encephalopathy, which has gotten a lot of press. Obviously, the movie Concussion with Will Smith several years back was around the doctor who first identified that, Dr. Omalu. But what you're seeing that's a little bit different in some of these folks that played football is when you do the pathology, you're seeing lesions in the brain in the amygdala. The amygdala is the part of your brain that is the emotional component. If you're having damage there, you tend to see an increase in suicidal ideation. You also can see an increase in homicidal ideation, and you see a lot more reckless behavior. So traditionally, we think about you hit the head, you had a brain injury, and you're at risk for earlier stage dementia, where you're kind of confused and you're having memory impairment and the standard stuff people tend to think with Alzheimer's. But by adding the lesions in the amygdala with the football players, you're also seeing these other homicidal, suicidal, reckless tendencies because that area is also damaged, not just the memory and attention centers.
Yeah, they can turn you into a real a-hole. A head injury can turn you into a major a-hole.
Is that what happened to you, Dan? Did you
Yep.
get hit as an
Exactly. It's intensified it.
Doc, I got to tell you, I'm fascinated by your work, and I would love nothing more than for this in a few years to be, a possibility for people like you and other doctors and neurologists to use, to be able to be almost like the front lines of concussion protocol. That would be one of the very first things I'm assuming you would try to get to a person that's been diagnosed, with a concussion. And I don't think right now they have anything like what you guys are coming up with. I don't think there's nothing that exists.
There's nothing. Go rest. Try to mentally rest more than anything. Try to get some good sleep, and slowly over a 2-week period, start doing a little exercise, seeing how well you tolerate mental challenge, and eventually hope you get better. About 20% of folks won't. won't get better in that first 2 weeks, and they're going to be the folks that unfortunately are going to have lost work days, have learning disabilities, and not graduate with their senior class, et cetera.
So Doc,
It's a shame. It really is a shame because really what he's saying is that there is no great treatment for a closed head injury. It's
none.
just ride it out and see what happens on the backside.
And we automatically want to make it all about football and sports, but
It happens all over the place.
life is this happens far more every day in life than it does specifically on Sundays or a hockey game.
Absolutely.
Like this is way bigger than just sports, combative sports.
Do you think there's a room for this in something like post-stroke as to help, again, protect brain tissue because dead brain tissue does not recover?
Yeah, no, I think it definitely is a good one for that. It's not going to be GABAergic. So a lot of times with stroke, when you have the vascular kind of either a hemorrhage or with an embolus, you really focus on the vascular nature of this, and the tissue tends to get, the brain tissue around that area tends to get excitotoxic, and you want something like, well, people know Xanax, something that really slows down that excited nature of the neural tissue and kind of calms it. This is not a tissue calmer. This is strictly going to reduce inflammation, swelling, and oxidative stress. There are allopregnanolone, which has recently kind of come out and gotten FDA approval for some forms of depression and anxiety, similar to what Xanax would be. Allopregnanolone, I think, has a future with stroke treatment as a neurosteroid.
Doc, where can people go get information on your stuff? I know you got a hard out here in just a few seconds, so I don't want to be respectful of that. Where can people go and see your work and get behind this?
Go to odysseyhealthinc.com, odysseyhealthinc.com. We got a good website. You can come on, chat with me if you're dealing with a child or someone around you in your family that's having a concussion. We're happy to have a chat with you. You can see all the great people we have on our team, former head of the Navy SEALs, former heads of SOCOM, former heads of neurotrauma for Department of Defense. We got some great sports guys, Brett Favre, Kurt Warner, Abby Wambach, David Rawls, Mark Rippon, folks that have really lived it and care about it. That's what I can say about all those folks. They really want to make a difference.
I'd love to have you on from time to time, Doc, with updates on your progress, and hopefully the next time we'll talk to you, you're probably the vice president of Pfizer or something.
And thanks for doing such noble work on an issue that really needs this kind of attention because it's been left it's been identified as a problem but with no solution.
So, Doc, hey, Doc, thank you so very much for your time. Let's continue to update as you get it. And the richer you get, please don't forget about us. Okay, buddy?
I'll never forget you, brother. I'm a giver.
All right.
Go Bucks.
Thank you, Doc. Good talking to you, my friend.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Good
All
to
right.
meet you, Doc, man.
All right,
I'll be
buddy.
good.
Thank you,
Bye.
buddy. Man, what a great guy, man. I love that guy. I mean, what a great idea.
Yeah. And again, it's such an important issue that's really clouding the NFL, and there's not a great solution.
And
We've been looking for a solution for years.
People want to automatically think that this is an NFL deal.
No,
it's a life.
bigger.
I mean, it's far bigger than that, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
head injuries.
There are probably more
every
kids.
day.
There's probably more kids and adults that have concussions every day in life than the more publicized ones that happen in the NFL on Sundays.
Exactly. Kids falling off of playgrounds, kids running into each other during soccer practice.
Lawyers falling on a wet piece of carpet.
Yes, anything's possible.
Happens.
And what a brilliant way though to administer it.
Yeah, because it's right there. It's so close to your brain. If you can get it to be absorbed intranasally, it does go straight to the brain.
Anna knows things about internet.
Yeah, I knew you were
Well, it's
gonna say that.
like Narcan.
Yeah, exactly.
exactly.
And Narcan is a game changer. Of all the drugs we've put out in the last 20 years, Narcan has probably saved more lives than any other single drug.
I like watching revival videos of Narcan. That's
it's amazing.
fun.
They snap.
Yeah,
Isn't how they snap
I
back?
watched that a few weeks ago.
This could be on the level of that, where every EMT, every fire department, every high school football team, everybody carries it because it would be your first line.
And it comes individual packed, and it's like one little tiny Afrin thing. It's one quick spray, you're done. Like there's not like you got to
life
inject
is
it.
saved.
And, yeah, it's not. It's like super easy too.
Anyway, love that guy. And Lummy, great score on that.
Oh, thank
Good
you.
job, Lum Lum.
And then we have our guest tomorrow at 9, right?
Yes, sir.
Perfect.
The Bubba Radio Network will return after this.
Telling Costa.
No, he's back.
I'm gonna go back to the Good job, Lum Lum.
I'm gonna do a light.
All right.
I'm gonna do a light, which will be for Thursday.
All right. Next light. Thursday light. What's up, catastrophic? Boomer 886. Oh, piece of crap. Big Sean 813, 9 months. Good morning, Ice. Woo, you got 812. What's up, Pollock 21? Dave the Slave. Six. Morning, Tricky Ashley. 6-7 Scout. Lemmy's Chip, good morning. Morning, Hall of Famer Heather Wiz. Was very informative. Hall of Famer Iggy McGillicuddy. Good morning, Jeff 2433. Larry M 678. Good morning. Larry M 678, 45 months. Country Girl 92. Good morning, Beacon Faven 24. And Wolfman's brother, Big Mike and his Lummy, good morning.
Big Mike and his Lummy.
What's up, 62 Roncaro? Good luck till they keep. Onagate Blitz Poopy D, 35 months. Morning, Alan Close, Wolfman's brother, 29 months. Oh, we get number 2 with Dr. Dan here. Good morning, City Redneck, 25.
Oh, I just let Mike say.
Yeah, that's what I figured, but at least you got it ready to go.
Thanks, buddy.
I think to would be good for our second one.
We're gonna
Fight
do
City,
a
41
light
months.
stream.
I'm gonna say, let me light.
Let me light.
Let me knows.
Let me light. Let me light.
Let me give me those breaks.
I got my list with the checkoffs now.
The Chekhovs?
The checkoffs.
Russian family?
Yeah, the checkoffs. Thanks to it too. Good
It
morning.
looks vaguely familiar.
Hand hash.
Hype train. Those blood fart 37 months.
Woohoo!
Not this very second.
Hype train. Hype train. With a light train. Light stream. Pollock 2100 bits. Kendall 01 with 100 bits. Flood City with 100 bits.
What up, Piachos?
Uncle Eric with 100 bits. Stop and Go Steve with 100 bits. Let's KD Bubba Army 55 months. Freaky Video Guy 38 months. For your luck, good morning.
With the hype train? Double hype train?
Double hype train, Dr. Dan. They wanted to get one in for your left.
Awesome.
Michael Henderson, 499 Super.
Big Longer. What's up, Iggy?
Okay, Michael
By the
Henderson.
whiz.
Good morning.
Chickney Ashley, good morning. Alec 21, catastrophic, good morning. Iggy, Redbeard,
Dark
67.
100 bits.
Dark Match, good morning. LM Close, how you doing? Hey, Lummy's Chip. What's up? Good morning, Big E, 7375.
7375.
What's up, Holy?
Live from the Sunbelt Rental Studios, it's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
Lummy, I'm going to give you a few extra as you and I got a Lightstream deal to do. Lightstream.com makes it easy for people to get great credit and a low-interest loan for any used car, whether it's a 66 GTO you're looking at, 12-year-old Toyota, low-mileage SUV. Apply online now within minutes and get a loan from Lightstream from $5,000 to $100,000 on any used car. No collateral, no lien restrictions, no restrictions on age or mileage. You can get your funds by later this afternoon. Get a loan and buy a used car from a dealership with rates starting at 3.99% APR with auto pay and excellent credit. Apply now to get a special interest rate discount and save even more. Go to lightstream.com.
/BTLS.
Again, that's lightstream.com.
/BTLS.
Subject to credit approval. Rates range from 3.99% APR to 9.49% APR. Include a 0.50% auto pay discount. Lowest rates require excellent credit. Terms and conditions apply, and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com /BTLS for more information. Where are you on your hype of trainers?
Level 5 now. Hierarchy 65 Unity Guarantee locked in Hall of Fame. 10,000 hits.
I can only give you 60 seconds, Lummy.
You're gonna need it, Lummy.
I'm going to give you 60 seconds starting from now.
Napa Mike gifted 5 subs. Trinity Here's with 1,000 bits. Sicilian Redneck 25 1,000 bits.
Hierarchy
65 Guarantee super locked in. Favorite Heart 65,000 bits.
I think it's over, right?
Not yet.
Not yet?
Almost.
Lummy, you got 45 to get it done.
World 1,000 bits.
It's not
That's
looking
40.
good, Lummy. It's not looking
71,000
good.
bits.
Lummy.
Help him!
It's better to have not done one at all than to not have
Yeah,
done
Lummy,
one.
why did you start this hype train?
Oh,
They wanted it for Dr. Dan.
Lummy, you got exactly.
Lummy, you're at 80%.
Oh, no.
Lummy, you're
Booty his.
Come
Rudy
on.
Here's with 1,000 bits.
43 seconds.
That's gonna be close.
Oh,
That's gonna
no.
be close.
We're
Lummy.
edging. We're edging.
Chloe.
Yay! Woo! 2 for 2. Count.
And he's on it.
Soon to be guaranteed locked in Hall of Famer. Gifted 10
over.
subs.
Oh, just barely made it.
Napa Mike gifted 5 subs.
5 seconds.
Ooh.
5 seconds with an endorsement backside. Thank you, Bubba Armory. We love you. Having a good month so far. Don't forget today's after show. You're only going to be able to find it one place. That's in our podcasting world.
Nope.
And we run a little loose, get a little dirty.
How we like it.
Yeah. Probably talk about various dirty stuff involving Blummel. Did you get dirty this weekend, Anna?
A little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
You did?
Of course.
For real?
Wouldn't be the weekend if we didn't get a little dirty.
Boy, you went from never getting dirty
I know.
to now.
Look at me now.
Do you like getting dirty?
Of course.
Okay, just asking for a friend.
Yeah, Blitz.
Yeah,
This morning,
during
conspiracy-
our,
So do you
during
get
our
up and shower?
pre-meeting, during our pre-meeting, Blitz goes, ask Anna again if she likes to get dirty.
Yeah,
we got dirty this week.
Yeah,
I really
yeah, no, I do.
So do you get up and shower right afterwards, or you just like
Yes.
sleep in it?
Oh, I shower right afterwards immediately.
You guys me?
Yeah.
Well, it depends.
It kind of depends on when and what's
Where
going on.
and
yeah.
where's this stuff? You know.
Oh.
Anyways.
Yeah, I'm like you, Bubba. Get me in the shower.
Yeah, I mean, to the point where I feel almost rude about it.
Oh, you
Like,
how
I
quick
mean,
you get up? How
yeah,
quick
like
you
how,
go?
like as soon as I got, like I got to
Don't
get
you want to just like lie down for a second?
No, well, yeah, clean.
Okay.
Not with all this.
I mean,
Elmer's
sometimes
glue.
it's like right after the shower, and not a whole lot of mess is made, so it's a quick cleanup.
Yeah.
No, mine's always
French
mine's
shower.
always catastrophic cleanup involved.
Jesus,
It's like you're mud bugging.
Well,
Jesus.
Don't want to use the word mud on any of my
Right.
sexual prowess.
Right.
Yeah.
That's not a good look.
It's Madeira Beach stuff.
Yeah.
He gave that up a while ago.
Yeah, I don't. I would never do that.
You okay?
No, I'm not.
Just thinking about it.
Madeira Beach I just don't need to be there. Like that doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah, you don't like the ocean.
Oh, it does something for you. Nothing good
I like
though.
the ocean. I like the ocean. I don't need to go to the to the
oil spill.
Yeah. I like the ocean. I don't need to go to the
Yeah.
You don't need the seaweed.
You need lots of dawn.
Theorist Alex Jones continuing to cast doubt.
Hey man, how screwed am I?
He looks so bad.
Hey man, how screwed am I? Man, I'm telling you right now, you're screwed, dog. Okay, well, let me tell you
That
something.
Rock?
Is that Chris Rock?
Oh no, like Rock, Kevin Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks like Chris Rock, doesn't it?
A little bit.
Just really weird. Hey man, you're gonna make a joke about how screwed I am. He's so screwed.
Was this after it? Because his lawyer's like, look, Alex Jones has still got a show to do, so he's going to continue his show. He'll be on there every day.
Here's what's going to happen, though, Blitz. Everything's going to be fine with Alex Jones as long as the people that run his servers or he buys his bandwidth don't
Cancel him.
Yep. As long as because he's been canceled everywhere else.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that the people who host him now know what they're getting into because Alex has been doing this for a long time. And as long as he pays his hosting bill, I think that they'll be all right.
Until they're not. Until the right people
Person just pulls the plug.
Until the right person puts the right pressure on a right person at that place.
Yeah, because it's happened a few times. So the place he's at now, basically, they've said, hey, you're okay here as long as you pay
Don't
the
get
bill.
a $45 million verdict.
Well, it's not against them.
Stuff going on in this trial.
And his company's already filed for bankruptcy.
Does this make his hardcore P1s even step
Oh,
up more?
absolutely.
Yeah, especially because, like I said last week, remember that that now that all his information got leaked, they're thinking it's a conspiracy, and that
Yep.
obviously they're out to get him, and Alex is right, and so this
saw a
fortifies
meme.
them.
I saw a meme where they're like, Alex Jones hired crisis lawyer actor, like, hey,
Yeah.
like he's always ending on this on this debunking of this conspiracy. Well, it starts and stops with his idiotic attorneys making just an absolute freshman.
They could not have screwed up anymore. Like
Right.
that's the word. Like, and they didn't even just send him like a few emails or like a couple of the wrong texts. They sent the entire case file with everything, every single thing, every email Alex has ever sent to anyone, every text he's ever sent.
Now is he
the
in
pictures
trouble?
he had?
Is he in trouble now? Where they're saying
Like
where
January 6th stuff?
Yes,
That's what I
various
heard that
agencies
yesterday.
are getting involved.
They're
and
trying to.
Yeah, because
His
there's
Roger Stone
There's a
text
lot
and-
of texts between him and Roger Stone back and forth about January 6th.
After a resounding rebuke, the InfoWars host was ordered to pay an additional
Boy, where is our dark match Alex Zone? We actually have a dark match Alex Jones that calls in.
Yeah, he's busy making beef jerky.
$45.2 million in punitive damages to the
Hey
parents
man, things aren't looking too good right now. I need to sell some more horny goat weed made with the finest of horny goat weeds.
of a Sandy Hook shooting victim.
And I'm going to accept this as a verdict of the jury.
That verdict handed down just one day after the Texas jury ordered Jones pay $4 million in compensatory damages
I think he could have. I don't think he bettered himself on how he came across.
No.
I don't. I think a lot of this is crap. I really do. Especially having endured. I've endured one of these name calling, defamation, slander lawsuits. Not a lot of people can say that you have. I've been through 2 of these and won both of them.
And the people that like you still like you, and the people that hated you still hated you.
I think there's some more people that's jumped on the hate one lately, Dan.
The years he spent calling the massacre a hoax.
All right.
The nearly $50 million payout.
The thing about it is, though, I've never been this disrespectful about society. You know, I have had my opinions, and I've done my stunts, and I've done stupid stuff, and I've made stupid statements, and I've put in myself in some stupid situations. But I didn't hurt anybody but myself, for the most part, other than the hog that I was cleared for. You know, this I don't think that I've inflicted emotional damage on parents that lost their children. I think that even I have a sense of
a moral thermometer.
Yeah,
compass.
Yeah, like, you know, you've never heard me disrespect a parent that had its child gunned down at school. You'll never be able to find any audio of me taking a cynical approach about that matter.
No.
You're just no. Hey, I'll argue you all day about the stuff we can argue about: gun laws, abortion, First Amendment. You know, but I'm not going to argue about whether or not it's a conspiracy theory that.
What were his major reasons for thinking it was a hoax?
Because everything that happens everywhere is a false flag and a hoax.
No, but I mean, like, what sort of evidence was he drawing? Something about like the exit of the school, or so. I remember seeing stuff
he
like
was
that.
getting like these rogue reports from his fans, misinformation.
For a while, it was going around online, and I think he picked it up that like Sandy Hook was a school that had been closed for a couple years, and no one actually went there. And
I see.
Because I think like there was some like thing in the paper where like they had to close it down for a few weeks or something, like years prior.
They
just
did,
something they took.
and it was something
They took
to
pictures
do.
of it and sent it to
It
him.
was something to do with Blitz. I think they had like a plumbing issue.
Yeah, I don't remember
or
what it was, but
it was a foundation. It was a
And
structural.
also how they exited. I remember him saying something about like, why would the students be exiting this way if the shooting was that way? Or I don't
You know,
know.
listen, here's the deal. I think when a school shooting's happening, that it's just it's really not. And this is before, I think Sandy Hook was before we really started having organized school shooting drills.
That was one of the really the pivotal catastrophes, because you know a lot of people will be like, oh, another shooting, but when you hear about like little elementary school kids getting shot, you know, in cold blood, it really disturbed a lot of people. I think that was a pivotal
you're right.
event.
I think you're right, and the age of the children had to do with pulling at people's heartstrings. But the other thing is, when you're dealing with kids that young, I mean, they can go through all the fire drill and tornado drills you want, but they can't they mess up a lot. They don't remember things when you're 6 and 7. You forget your pencil and forget what room you're supposed to go into and all that kind of deal. So using the kids exited incorrectly is not, in my opinion, one to cause this much of a crap storm. And what's the upside to it? You can have an upside and be on one side or the other of a conspiracy, you know, whether it's 9/11 or just some of the other more sexier conspiracies that you just won't get in as much of a crap storm than dealing with dead, not kids, dead little kids.
Right.
Like there's just no, as a broadcaster, if you're trying to be shocking and you're trying to be that guy.
Yeah, but that's what he's known for. That's his brand.
But he never went that low, Anna. He never.
I mean, I'm
he
sure he's called out, like,
has though
9/11 and all. A bunch of other stuff.
Which
involved dead kids.
Within his whole world of monologuing conspiracy theories.
Well, that was obviously the most egregious.
Right, and now he's paying
according to society.
Yeah, I think this one just happened to get picked up more, and that's what, because he said all kinds of outrageous stuff with kids, and like he doesn't care.
And I tell you another thing that I'm not sticking up for Alex Jones. I'm not.
But
I think that there was testimony that the parents never heard the broadcast.
Oh, I'm sure they didn't.
And that, as
I don't think that necessarily mattered, because they were getting the effects of his listeners, I guess, were harassing him.
Yeah, that was the issue.
I mean, there comes a point where, at what point are you the head of your listeners and their inappropriate actions if you've
Well, that's
not
the whole January 6th deal, you know?
if you've not given them instructions. Now, if Alex Jones had said, "Hey, all you Alex Jones-ers," whatever, all you InfoWar Army, the InfoWar Army, I want you to go out and target these parents who lost supposed children at Sandy Hook. As you know, we think that this was all a big acting deal. Nobody really died. These are all actors, yada, yada. And make sure you screw with these parents. Did he ever? I don't know that he ever said that.
I do not think he called to action his listeners to harass the
But
parents.
on the
I
other
could
hand,
be wrong,
on
though.
the other hand, did he ever tell them, like when there would be a report of a parent getting screwed with? On the other hand, would he say, "Hey, I have zero tolerance for you doing that.
I have no idea.
Stop. Just because I believe one way doesn't mean that you need to act out and be my delivery mechanism and put these parents through hell." So I do not approve of anybody reaching out to these surviving parents and making any type of, making them feel uncomfortable. I think had he said that, that would be a good one, I think we would have heard it as a defense. And two, I think it would have bettered his cause.
We seem to forget this one thing, though. So had he actually said all this during the actual regular lawsuit, that's one thing. But he didn't. He didn't comply with discovery, so he got a default judgment. So all of this stuff was just for how much he had to pay.
Right.
He could have actually been found innocent of doing anything wrong
because he didn't show
had he
up.
actually done the main trial.
And I'll tell you right now, man, if you got a good lawyer like J.D. Acco, not that J.D. Acco could have come in, but J.D. Acco would have handled this far different than these Keystone cops.
Well, yeah, they would have had a default judgment.
And J.D. Acco would have answered the initial complaint,
right,
and fought this in the court of public opinion.
I mean, all the stuff we've been seeing the past few weeks doesn't matter. They've already found him guilty, so this was just how much does he have to pay?
Right, and at the end of the day, man, that's on Alex Jones.
Yes.
Since he didn't take this whole process seriously, and he felt as if he was above this process, and he didn't lawyer up with a J.D. Acco early on. Well, Blitz, you're completely right.
Yeah.
Had he defended this,
right,
he has some defensible positions.
He wasn't. I mean, technically he was found guilty, but there wasn't an actual trial where what he said made him wrong.
No,
and he was found guilty by default because
he needed that trial.
Of course he did.
Show up.
He never showed up. He never answered it. He never participated in discovery.
So kind of they were participating in it, but I forget exactly what it was. But the other team wanted some stuff for discovery, and they refused to produce it. I think it was certain texts and stuff, which is what this was kind of funny because they ended up getting all of them anyway. But so they said, no, we're not going to send you that stuff. And the judge said, well, you have to. If you don't comply, then you're not being part of discovery.
But here's what sucks.
And so they said no, and she said, okay, fine, default judgment, you lose.
But here's what sucks is that, not that I'm condoning what he said, but it is very much protected speech.
Yes.
And it very much is. And if you didn't call to action, I mean, I don't know if Jay's here yet.
He'll be in about 3 minutes, he said.
But, had he J.D., and I guess none, what would be better than to J.D. Acco up with a J.D. Acco?
Mm-hmm.
So when he gets his stupid ass in here, we can talk about this. But, Alex Jones had some pretty solid arguments under the guise of First Amendment.
I would think so.
And Jay, who'll be here momentarily, has prevailed in a case not similar to this, but kind of. I absolutely drug MJ's stupid name through the mud, called him out, called him names, told people to catcall him and harass him verbally, not physically, at Gasparilla.
Mm-hmm.
I did it all.
But had you not participated in discovery, the same thing would have happened to you. You would have been found guilty.
Yep.
And then there would have been another trial on how much do you have to pay. That's kind of the same thing with Alex. He didn't participate in the original trial. This last trial wasn't, is he guilty or not? It was how much does he have to pay.
Right.
But how do you compensate someone such as my clients for the injury to their
Well, first of all, you show up and defend it.
reputations,
Yeah.
the shame and humiliation that they've experienced in the past, and more importantly, what they will experience in the future. What's adequate compensation? For weeks and months and years.
You never saw the parents' counsel say this now. They never threw a number out. Is this, Dan, not that you're a trial lawyer, and we got one coming up here momentarily, but isn't this kind of a no-no to start throwing figures out? Isn't it kind of a sign of desperation if your case isn't good enough to be, obviously worth tens of millions of dollars, that you spoon feed the jury with specific numbers?
Well, there's two kinds of damages. There's economic and non-economic damages. The economic damages are like lost wages, things like that. And those are things that you would, what we call board, where you like put them on a board and you show them. They're very specific numbers. They're very quantifiable and easy to reproduce and come up with.
They're very discoverable as well.
Right. So those are the economic damages. When it comes to non-economic damages, which is like, emotional distress, pain and suffering, things like that, those are very, very, very difficult to quantify. And so lawyers have different techniques on how to make numbers make sense to a jury. For instance, you could say, this guy, if it's $1 an hour for pain, how many hours is he alive? And then you could multiply it that way.
Right. Hold on.
Less than what the parents of 6-year-old Jesse Lewis hoped for. Still, they
Meanwhile, he's not going to get, if this has got several layers of problems. One, just the potential appellate issue in the trial itself, procedurally. And then, I don't know that Alex Jones is worth this. He may have been smart and liquidated some stuff, and they may not be able to. I think one thing is collectible. How collectible is he? Right?
Mm-hmm. Right. Is he judgment proof?
Right.
What's with the little heart thing that girl's doing?
I think she's just saying thank
love. Say it's a win.
Other parents, I wanted to represent you.
By the way, Dan, Blitz, he has 2, maybe 3 sets of other parents that are going through this process right now?
I believe so.
Yeah.
But this lawsuit's been going on for years.
Lawyers ain't cheap, and especially when you're going to have to sue the one you just hired and hire new ones and then hire another set of lawyers to sue those for malpractice, right? Mm-hmm. Eventually getting this lawyer quagmire because lawyers ain't cheap. Jay Diaco doesn't roll around the way he rolls because lawyering's cheap. Right, Dan?
Absolutely.
Lawyering ain't cheap.
Nope, it's not.
I know that you have endured pain just like I have over the past 10 years, and this is a huge victory for all of you.
But Jones's attorney says it's not over.
Now, he's probably in the fight of his life right now he probably won't be retained as Alex Jones's counsel moving forward. He's probably going to get sued by Alex Jones. Wouldn't you assume, Dan?
If this lawyer let all my information go to the other side, I would attempt to sue him for malpractice.
Would you attack him?
Yes.
The First Amendment is
physically
under siege.
and legally.
Would you come in hammer fisting like Ricky Bobby?
Oh, he wouldn't look like that today.
And that...
And then you would be getting sued for hurting him.
I'll take that one.
He looks forward to continuing the fight.
You can sue me
Jones.
for $1,000. I'm suing you for $50 million.
Responding to the verdict last night, saying he doesn't have the money he's been ordered to pay, despite expert testimony that InfoWars is likely worth hundreds of millions of dollars.
My net worth is below $5 million, if you count everything I've got.
Me too. I'm Bubba Jones.
All of this comes after a bombshell week in court, where years of Jones's text messages were revealed after being sent to the plaintiff's attorney by mistake. The messages contradicting testimony Jones gave under oath, with the potential to place him in even more hot water.
It'd be interesting to see what Jay's tactic or strategy would be.
He's coming in now.
I've been asked by the January 6th committee to turn their
Dan, you don't know the day we need Jay up in the house.
He's here. I mean, he's getting set up, so don't turn it.
And the attorney for the family says that those text messages that he received by mistake included messages between Trump advisor Roger Stone and Alex Jones. Now, the January 6th committee is not commenting, but they did subpoena Jones back in November, and they are looking into his role in the rally and later riot. Kristen, Peter. All right.
Jay's ready.
Jay, where in the hell, man? We're like right in
It's
your
9
power
o'clock.
rally.
Is it 9? I see 9:02. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'm 2 minutes late.
is big in the radio.
But usually you're 5 minutes early.
I know.
He's a big
I'm sorry.
lawyer.
I apologize.
He's a big
I
slinging
have
lawyer.
actually a meeting at 10 o'clock. I was preparing for it. I apologize.
Blame it on sinkholes or something.
Yeah, blame it on.
The traffic was bad.
What does happen when you guys drive fancy cars like the way you do and you hit because Tampa's roads are absolutely the worst ever.
But there's a sinkhole like right down the street from my house. That's literally, I'm not like,
growing.
I am not kidding you. It's probably 8 or 9 feet deep, and it's like the top of it is, I don't know, like twice the size of a manhole. And all the city has done is put one cone, which is now like 4 foot underground, and one barricade right next to it. That's all they've done.
Can you tell me what that is so I can drive my e-bike right into it?
I'm not killing
have Jay
you.
right behind me filming it so I can sue the city of Tampa
It
immediately?
will kill you. I'm not kidding. It's about 10 feet deep.
It would kill you.
Yes. And it's just one barricade
I'm
sitting
thinking
there.
about running for the mayor of Tampa and announcing my candidacy right in front of the Jackson House and saying my number one priority is fixing the roads.
There you go.
The roads are horrible.
They are.
Jay, can you sue the city? Like, if you got a really fancy Ferrari rim or Porsche rim, and you're just driving down the regular road, and there's a big ass,
like the one.
I mean, you can, but are you going to get anything back from it?
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know.
the government has sovereign immunity, so they're capped at liability. They'll fight it forever. And who are you going to find a lawyer to try to get, a $3,000 rim or a $2,000 rim or a $500 rim?
I mean, you guys probably know on the inside of Cyprus, just turning left from West Shore.
Yeah.
There's that. It's outlined with white paint now, but like, I mean, you hit that at speed, it's going to ruin a rim.
There's
it's
no
bad.
doubt.
So, Jay, what is your? I don't know if you were listening to us earlier, but obviously, a lot of people had the misconception that this was the trial. This was not the trial. The Alex Jones. Alex Jones didn't answer. I don't think the complaint or took any of it serious or
they
participated at all.
It's unconscionable that a lawyer would allow a claim like this to go unanswered. If that's truly the reason it was dismissed, but I mean, default judgment implies that his lawyers failed to do something and the court entered a default against them.
The court had been asking for like well over a year for Jones to provide financial statements and a few other things that his lawyers said, no, we're not going to do. And for about a year, the judge said, this is the date. If you don't do it, then, I'm going to rule and you're going to get a default. And they're like, go ahead and try it.
Well, you know what we did with Bubba's case? We fought until the judge.
Hold on. First of all, we won.
What we did in Bubba's case is we won.
Thank you. I mean, we can just stop right there.
Yeah, full stop.
But continue on.
In Discovery, they tried to do the same thing. They got the court to award punitive, the likelihood of punitive damages before the jury had even entered an award of punitive damages, and we had to disclose all his financial stuff during trial. But we did it under a confidentiality agreement. And so you can do it. It never got out, any of it.
Right.
And so you can comply with the court's order. You can fight the trial. They literally were taking his accountant's, Martin's deposition while we were in the middle of trial, Bubba. You remember that?
Yeah.
Your financial. And that's the one time in my career that I threw someone out of my office.
I
threw John Ellis out of my office because I was so upset with the way he was going with your financial discovery.
But you complied, though.
Yeah,
of course I did. But then I told him to get the F out of my office right now.
Oh yeah, it doesn't mean you're happy about it. But his lawyer said no, we're not going to do it. The judge was like, look, I'm letting you guys know. And like,
you and Dan both got great cores. I was really grabbing on Dan's core today. Jay, you might.
I've never done it once in my life, and he was so disrespectful to you and to me and to everyone. And after 4.5 years, I lost my temper, the better part of me, and I just lost it. And
That's
it
why you
wasn't
got
like
Dan
I didn't
now
do
as
a
a
bunch
partner.
of stuff. I just said one sentence, and that was it.
Now you can just send Dan down there. Now you just send Dan down there.
I just don't. I mean, I've only done it one other time. And
Dan,
I just,
you would clear his books off the table and everything, wouldn't you?
Get the F out of here.
Then you'd slip and hurt yourself.
It takes me a lot. It takes me a long time. It takes me 4.5 years. But when I'm over it, I'm over it.
Well, the crazy part about all this is the whole reason why he got the default judgment is because he didn't give his financials, and the lawyers ended up leaking them to them anyway.
And then I can't believe they disclosed all those confidential documents. I mean, that is unconscionable. As a lawyer, you really have a duty, one, to protect your client. That's the first duty you have.
You know that the plaintiffs, they reached out to Alex Jones' attorneys and said, you sent us some stuff.
It's like, it was like 40 gigs worth of stuff.
You know what you do? The rules require the other party return them and destroy them immediately.
No, not in this one.
It does not. It does not.
No, in Florida, it does.
No,
not in Texas.
In this one, listen, Jay.
That's a really bad rule.
Well, let me tell you the rule.
Jay, hold on.
Here's the rule. Well, under the rule, the Texas rule is the people that sent it to you have, first of all, you have to let them know that they sent something to you.
Which they did.
Which they did.
Okay.
They're like, hey, Alex Jones guys, you guys sent us some stuff that you probably shouldn't have sent us.
Yeah, you sent us a lot. Are you sure you meant to send us all this stuff?
And so then what Texas rule is, that opposing party that sent the stuff has 10 days to ask for it back.
Well, there's 10 days. That's 2 full weeks of work.
Hold on, and they didn't.
That's what I'm saying.
On day 11, it's now we don't have to give it back. It's now ours.
Again, that's an argument for legal malpractice.
Well, and in Florida, I don't know if ultimately you don't have to give it back. That's horrible of the lawyers. It's legal malpractice, and that law gives fair opportunity for lawyers who represent clients to do the right thing. You can do anything in 2 weeks.
Right.
So 10 days is 2 full business weeks. 2 full business weeks.
So I mean, you can't. I mean,
well, the plaintiffs immediately notified Jones' attorney and was like, "Hey, you just sent us this, and it's a lot of stuff. Are you sure you meant to send it to us?" And Jones' attorney's reply was, "Oh, well, please disregard it."
Yeah,
that's not it. What you're supposed to say is
exactly. That's what the judge
we hereby demand that you return it and that you destroy all copies of it pursuant to the rules regulating the Florida bar.
And that's what the judge said. And the judge said that was like a long time ago. And to this day, you still haven't asked to do that.
In my case, that happened to me recently, and it was something that didn't matter because I have this philosophy, which is, if you're going to put something in writing, write it as though your mother or a judge is going to read it, because one day they will.
I wish Dan had those same policies.
Exactly. So we had an expert
We'd be in
depot.
far less trouble, Danny.
We had an expert depot come up, and one of the things was we just gave him a full disclosure of my whole file. And it included a couple of correspondence, and there was nothing really harmful at all, but I'm a man of rules, and so I immediately demand. They said, "Oh, we have this stuff," and I said, "Demand immediately back," and they tried to say no, and what do you think they did? They returned it back, and they destroyed it all, and they can't use it in any way, shape, or form. And, of course, in this particular case, it was nothing anyway. But because the rules required it, I was obliged to do that.
Sure.
But if Alex Jones would have answered this case, this complaint, with a guy like you, there's a chance Alex Jones could have gotten, an innocent verdict, because it was very much under the First Amendment. He didn't. I don't think there was any call to action making people harass these. Hey,
I don't like to defend Alex Jones, but I can do it in terms of talking about your case as it relates to his case.
And I'm not defending what he said. I think it's horrible what he said.
Right.
But it is protected under the First Amendment, and if he wasn't doing any call to action, I think that you, Jay, being a very competent and 1-0 on the First Amendment defamation slander with a yippee-o malice gimmick on the kick, you have a good solid victory, a very highly publicized victory in that space, don't you?
True.
And so I don't know why.
And it's kind of defined me in my legal career, because as a lawyer, very rarely do other lawyers have an opportunity to see you when you're in the pit under fire. And in that particular case, there were 2 moments where the local community in most of Florida was watching it online, and your closing argument was one of them. And this is one of those cases where I don't know exactly what he said, but it does matter if they heard it, and it does matter whether or not there was a call to action, and it does matter whether there's any type of causal relationship between the statements and the actions. And so that's the big deal. I don't know the specifics enough, and I don't want to, because I don't want to comment on Alex Jones, but he deserves competent counsel to defend the First Amendment and say things that are offensive to the rest of the world. And whether his lawyers properly defended that seems pretty obvious that they didn't. But in your case, they couldn't. Think about Maxine Waters. She has literally said, go get in their face, go harass them, go do these things. They do it. They go to Kavanaugh's house, and nothing is done for it. Have you ever heard, and this is not to defend again Trump, have you ever heard a single word from that speech on January 6th where he said to go to the Capitol and do anything other than peacefully protest? The answer is no. I know it because I've read the full transcript. And anyone that wants to debate that with me can read the transcript and then come argue with me. And so,
talking about Gary specifically.
First Amendment protects political speech, specifically like Trump's speech on January 6th. But also it protects offensive speech like Alex Jones. I don't know what he said. But
this video has nothing to do. It was the article. It's this
he's
one
a
guy.
9/11 truther. He's the one who came up with that whole thing.
Wolf Halberg, age 73, was arrested and charged with unlawful possession of personal identification in Lake County, Florida, and accused of tormenting Sandy Hook parent Leonard Posnier and others connected to the 2012 shooting. The arrest came nearly a decade after the 20-year-old Adam Lanza stormed into the shade. Blah blah blah. Now, is he saying that?
So this is the one guy, I guess he would like send all the emails to Alex Jones, but he was the one that was tormenting the parents and then sending out to like all the InfoWars listeners like their information. But he was like the main one that was
so he seems like the guy that should be on trial.
This guy right here.
Yeah.
What a reprehensible person. How can you harass the parents of surviving children? That guy's terrible.
But Jay, I mean, I don't feel for Alex Jones. He thought he was above the law.
Nor do I.
He did not comply, and had he complied with the court order and had a competent lawyer and argued this instead of arguing it from the point of how much do I have to pay, arguing it from the foundation of what you said was protected, it might have been a different outcome.
Well, listen, Larry Flint and Hustler deserved competent counsel, and they lost 2 times before they went to the Supreme Court and won. And so in order to protect our rights as citizens, it starts with competent counsel and making good argument. And so whether or not, again, the First Amendment is designed to protect speech you don't like. Now, hate speech is never protected. Call to action is never protected. And if that's what happened, he should be found responsible for it. And, it's not guilty or innocent. It's liable or not liable. So for me, I'm a technical, legal guy. And so I want to know what statement specifically was linked to what action in your case. You remember I was saying, well, where first of all, did anyone hear these statements live and believe them to be true and tell you about it? No, of course, not one. And then what economic damages did they have? You remember what it was? $15,000 minimum jurisdictional requirement. They had a $16,000 security system after the alleged egging. And I mean, remember, where was a statement where Bubba called somebody's to action to egg your house or called someone to do anything other than grease you at Gasparilla 1 year? And they couldn't come up with anything. And so it really came down to cause and effect and the hypocrisy of the statement. It was parody.
And that might have worked if you had that man and woman on the trial, on the jury, on the witness stand, and you're asking them, but they had the luxury of not having to answer those hard questions because Alex Jones never showed up at the first trial.
Right. And look, as much
I'd like to know the answers to those.
As much as I love to tease Babyface, we worked extremely well on jury interaction because he was able, at a time when very few people knew social media, to help me identify who these jurors were. And then I was able to tailor my closing argument to each of them. I mean, we had Christian people that worked in a Christian school. I had a woman who got a grievous tattoo on the side of her arm during the entire trial. That's how much she hated being there. And so when we talked about tattoos, I looked at her right in the face. We had someone who loved country music, and so I talked about country music lyrics to that person. And so there's a way to communicate to a jury by knowing exactly who they are and what their sensitivities are. And this is all fair because you're just telling them what's important to them.
Plus, we gave them a promo code at Diaco Plastic Surgery Center to get 20% off.
That's right.
It works every time.
And we used Dasani water.
But, okay, so my last question for you is it a sign of desperation when, and I have the infamous Phil Campbell, where he starts throwing out numbers? If your case isn't just absolutely, if it's just not obvious that these people need to be compensated in a large type way, do you start throwing out chicken crap numbers like this? Like, is that lawyer 101 that you don't do?
Well, it depends on the case. Like Danny said, economic damages. In his case, he had $16,000 of economic damages. That was it. He couldn't prove a single sponsorship was lost, a single dollar of revenue was lost. His wife never was employed. There was no way to prove any economic damages. So he went to the jury on 16.
His wife was employed by Mark Ober.
No, not at the time, though.
Okay.
So, and they weren't able to prove the economics. And then the non-economics were what? Him fake crying?
Right.
And so it just didn't sell well. There was no causation to it.
How do you compensate someone?
So the answer is yes.
This is my client.
It's a stretch, and especially since we know in this case, they had $2 million of legal bills that they had already incurred up to the point of the jury trial.
Man, they got hosed.
And he asked for, if I remember correctly, I haven't heard this in years. Doesn't he start at 1 or 2?
No, he starts at $500,000.
Does he really?
Listen.
Their reputations, the shame and humiliation that they've experienced in the past, and more importantly, what they'll experience in the future. What's adequate compensation for weeks and months and years of humiliation?
I'd have more respect if Phil just said, hey, if we can just get my legal bill cleared up here, we'll be good.
And a couple extra bottles of wine.
Yeah, I mean, a couple extra bottles of wine, man. Hold on.
Of shame, of hurt feelings, all caused by a man who, out of sheer hatred for Mr. Schnitt, felt compelled to tell his 400,000 audience one lie after another.
That's all we do, buddy. It's just lie.
Remember the other thing? You never said Mr. Schnitt ever.
No, I never
Not
did.
once. You said MJ.
I called him pubic-haired little MI.
500,000, a million, 2 million, 2.5 million. What is it worth?
Yeah, that's
To
bad.
spend-
That's not good.
It's worth nothing.
See, the thing is, you do throw ranges out sometimes when you know that your numbers that you're asking for are going to be a bit inflated and the jury may reduce them. So, for example, if I know that my economics are $8 million and I have pain and suffering that I think I need to get $2 million in the past and $2 million in the future, I'm going to ask for probably $5 million in the past and $5 million in the future. And I'm going to say, if you think that this is worth, $2 to $5 million, that's okay. It's okay for you to have a range, but for him to start at 25% of what the outstanding legal bills were, it's really a sign of desperation.
Yeah.
The first 2 years, from 2008 through 2010, you're afraid to go out of your home, afraid to go out, be faced, as Mr. Schnitt testified, in pulling up to a gas station or going to a grocery store, doing things all of us do every day of our lives, in the ordinary course of our lives, in fear that someone is going to start screaming in front of our children.
So you have his closing.
Your
but not
wife's a
mine.
whore.
Damn.
No, I don't have yours because
I told you I don't have it. We need to get it from Serena or
Screaming
somebody.
vulgarities, like I did also in Gasparilla. What is that worth? You can't take
MJ, you suck, Bubba Army. That's what was said.
That's exactly right.
that back. As Mr. Stitt testified, his son asked, Daddy, why are those people yelling at you?
Because I suck, son.
I'm sure all the
How can
people
you
that have been victims of crime in New York and California over the last 3 months or 3 years could care less if someone called them a name.
I mean, what
as opposed to getting hit over the head and getting your purse
What
taken
about
away.
Doug Williams when he threw an interception back for the Bucks? I'm
Oh,
sure
yeah,
that
they greased
and
him.
His kids,
Yeah.
And his kids had to hear, man, but
How
Doug
about-
Williams, you suck.
How about all the African American cops that had white Karenji screaming in their face racist things during the BLM riots because people said go get in cops' faces? That irritated me more than almost anything I've ever seen in my adulthood.
For those years, how can you? And how can you ensure and protect them and compensate them in terms of the future?
You can't. I was watching something on Facebook or YouTube this weekend, and it was this African-American woman, and she was being pulled over, and her driver's license came back suspended, and it was a white cop, and then there was a black cop, and they're like, ma'am, we need you to, the cop was going to be super cool about it. He's like, you know what, I just need you to pull your car over in the parking lot, and let's arrange for somebody to come pick you up that's got a valid driver's license. Or you can leave your car here and have somebody come pick it up with a driver's license, but I'm not going to take you to jail because you're driving on a suspended driver's license. I technically can take you to jail. And she's like, you're being racist. He's like, I'm not being racist, ma'am. This law applies to everybody. It doesn't have anything. Well, I feel you're being very racist to me because I'm black, and you're taking me. And he's like, ma'am, I'm not taking you to jail. I'm just asking you not to drive your car on the road. That's it. Like he's really cutting her a break. I mean, driving while suspended. Usually, Blitz, you're getting handcuffed,
that used to be a big deal.
Right. And the guy said, and there was a parking lot, I don't know, like Publix or Walmart or something. He said, I literally just need you to have somebody come here and put this car in that parking lot, or come and drive you in this car, but you as a passenger. I'm not taking you to jail. Well, she ended up going to jail because she wouldn't get out of the car. She was one of those, like where they grab the steering wheel. The bad guy grabs the steering wheel, and they're like, "I'm not getting out." And they're like, "Ma'am, if you could just get out, we're gonna get you out. I'm not getting out. You're being racist." Everything is just, it's just a really, really slippery slope that we're in.
It's a tough time to be a cop. We've been
pro
Leo here
alive.
forever. It is a tough time. It's odd because. What you see on television is so polarizing. And then if you go anywhere where there's no television, I just got back from Costa, and where people don't see the television every day, they're really happy. And
Or
people in
social
Costa
media.
Rica don't have, they're not looking at CNN versus Fox every day, and they don't have much more than what they need every week. And they're the happiest people that I know. And when I go there, I try to unplug, and I try not to watch the news, and I try not to do anything. And I find no matter
Did you
how
surf?
long I'm there, it's right, when I get home, that everything's the exact same as it was the day I left. I had to actually do a deposition by Zoom there this time. I put a table upstairs in my bedroom, pretended like I was at the office.
For
and
real?
I took 9 hours of depos until the court reporter tapped out and said, "Mr. Diaco, I'm getting dizzy and I'm starting to lose my
From
focus."
Costa?
Yeah, from Costa.
Yeah, he was actually at the beach, and he was like, "You guys like my green screen?"
Yeah, that's it, exactly.
The Bubba Radio Network will return after this.
Let's have a great day.
Bye, Dan. See you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Are you gonna be
Sam.
Wednesday too, or no?
See you, Dan.
Are you gonna be Wednesday?
Hope you feel better, buddy. All right, see you. Thanks.
Good luck, Dan.
ICT.
See you,
By
Dan.
CTE.
Nice. Poor thing. It makes me feel horrible. Why do you think I wasn't going to give that video up?
Oh, there goes the
I
phone.
wasn't giving that video up for nothing. Nope. How you guys doing?
Great. How are you?
I'm good. Good morning, Hootie. It's Jan Sanier. What's up, Soupy John, Supergirl? Fin212, what's up, my friend? Group of Lips, hope everyone's well. What's up, homie, with the big baloney? JBJB, Riz. Xerxes. I hope so. Xerxes. Jeez. What's up, Daunting? Stock and Dion Stub, my friend. Hope everyone's well. Country Girl. Ice Julio. Surf was good, thank you for asking. I had some friends down that were never there before. I had to work twice. Did depots 2 days. But I was able to do it, which was nice. The prime drink's good. I don't know if I like this one so much. This is actually, if you ever, I guess you don't want prime drink after me. It's you know those ice pops when you're kids?
Yeah.
It's a bomb pop flavor.
Oh, nice. Wait, who says that again? You told me. Logan Paul?
Jake Paul.
Jake Paul.
Or look, who's the cooler one? The real one? The guy who just did WWE.
Logan Paul?
Logan. Have you seen Logan Paul's doing his WWE stuff, Bubba?
No.
Holy crap, man! That kid is talented. As much as I wanted to dislike him, the guy that actually can box of the two brothers. If you look at that stuff, he's doing. First of all, he's a great heel, but he's doing these backflips off the. I mean, it's incredible. Had no idea he was so talented and athletic. Thank you. You are Ice Julio Permagram.
Brother did the
What's up, buddy?
boxing. Well, I guess they both did the.
Oh, cool. Nicaragua's been going off, Surf City. She had offshore winds all day, like 4 of the 5 days, which was great. What's up, Thuggish Ruggish Nerd? What's up, wrestling coach? Vastmaster Flash. Morning.
Oh, yeah.
Remember they tried to make the Bubba army like a real army? Like there were meetings, since they tried to make it like in the net trial.
Oh,
that
yeah?
the Bubba army was real.
Like a
and
militia.
that Bubba, like we had some kind of meetings. And that Bubba had like some kind of, I actually said that in a closing argument. Like, have you believe there were some kind of meetings with like the Bubba army and the general. Telling people what, it was a joke.
Right.
You know, I'm like, Bubba army is what like the Kiss army was. I said, it's Bieber fever. I said,
The believers.
I called it Bieber fever. Gator Nation.
Freaking haters.
It was silly. I called myself a label whore.
A label whore?
Yeah, I said radio whore, label whore. I said, I like a good suit. I've been called that.
Yeah.
What's up, Little Wilbur's Afterbirth, Snuzuki Slayer? Yeah, we're real silly. Yeah, exactly. Meeting Wednesday night. Still the same message. Don't do anything to anyone. Jimmy Jam, what's up, buddy? No, I didn't see that. And Oklahoma State wrestler, he must have been really good too. AJ, no. Golden Egg Layer, what's up? Red Beard, Sicilian Redneck, what's going on? Treasure Coast of Costa Rica or Nicaragua? I'm not familiar with it referred to as a treasure coast, but I can tell you if you give me a city name where the good surf breaks are. You know, I've never been to Pavones. No, I haven't. Steven went to Brazil once.
Do you want to go to South America?
I'm so happy where I go that it's such an easy trip and it's like world-class waves.
Just to
yeah.
see other stuff?
Yeah, maybe not right now. South America. I mean, South America is not the place I want to go to right now. Where like crime and stuff is. Everyone's leaving there to come here. Brazil and Venezuela.
To visit or see some shit or go.
Yeah, but right now is not like the best time. You
Yeah.
know? So, I mean, yeah, I'd love to. Give me a city, North Carolina surfer, and I'll tell you wherever in Florida. There's, you know, Surfline's really, really good. If you just look at surfline.com, you can find just about any good spot around the world. They actually have a camera at my break now in Costa. I'll be honest. What's up, Beaver Bronson, Big E? I'm the head of that. I'm the general of that army. Thank you, Carlos. And yeah, Pavones, I haven't even done Pavones. I want to go so bad, but it's like an 8 or 9 hour drive from my house in Costa Rica, so I just haven't done it.
What's up, Rudy?
Live from the Sunbelt Rental Studios, it's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
I'm not trying to get arrogant where I'm all that. I have a inventory of new people that will come and listen to the show. But for you people to act like dicks, I'm over you.
Hello there, the redneck with good skincare at a drive-thru in a dually Ford. You're eating bites of chicken with cheese and ketchup only. Unsavory is lonely 'cause he's banned. He wanted me to write this to ask for your forgiveness. He wishes you and him could be best friends until you wear Depends. Dissed you. Now he misses you.
Listen, buddy.
Bubba Army, unsavory is sorry. He got banned quicker than abortion rights. That stupid Bob Ross wig is how this beef started. He wore it just to waste Lummy's time, then left a stupid comment. And Bubba saw it, put a hat on his camera, then he cried. If Bubba is still angry, ban Carlos or Tampa Terry. Break this disc if you think it's not right. Unban him tonight. Unsavory is so sorry. He wore a clown wig on his head. Unsavory is so sorry. He wore a clown wig on his head.
I was like, okay, I get it. I understand. Like, listen, Bo, buddy. What are you calling Bo? Listen, bro. You know, I mean, he either would have shot the merch. That's not what I want, damn it. Lummy, I'm. Can you get me some more?
Roadie free?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm running out. I don't have a lot that work.
Oh, really? Okay.
I mean, they have to
The
be.
CD scratched or something?
Well, I think I've already made like 20 of them.
No, I think I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I got 11 that are really, truly YouTube friendly.
I'll work on it over the vacation. Because I made one last week, and they put so many words into them now.
Yeah, there's a lot of lyrics.
Words.
Yeah, even though the roadie free. These, yeah,
we
these
like
guys
birds
keep dropping
chirping, though.
words. Yeah.
We don't like words, do we?
No, we do not like words.
I'm traveling to Indiana on Thursday not to get an abortion.
That's good.
Well, yeah, then you'd be going to the wrong place.
Yeah, because Indiana now is the first state to approve an abortion ban past Roe v. Wade.
Congratulations, Indiana.
Indiana on Friday became the first state in the nation to approve abortion restriction. I think Indiana might be the most uptight state.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
And for some reason, I love to go there. but I, you know, I'm not uptight there. I continue to do stuff.
Right.
But they're really uptight in Indiana.
I
don't know why.
Yeah, I don't either.
People in Indiana are cool as hell. I don't know. You know what? It's the evangelical leaders that you put in there. That's what it is.
Is it more southern Indiana or northern Indiana? Or is it all?
Northern Indiana seems like it's gotten bluer, and southern Indiana seems like it's gotten redder. I mean, 91 people left to go to our YouTube and subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is at The Bubba Army. 91.
Nice.
We have 46,909.
Wow.
So we're trying to hit 47,000 before I go to Columbus, Indiana. If I do get, did I say tomorrow at 10 and Lummy, are we going to go ahead and be a bunch of pussies?
Nope.
And
Tomorrow
make it,
at 10. No pussies here.
I don't think we can get 91 in one day.
Why not?
I don't know. For some reason, people ain't doing it.
We could do it.
Yeah, we believe.
Do you know how many people are listening to us right now in Fort Walton Beach and Melbourne and Tampa and Orlando, Charleston, Phoenix?
I'm telling you, Bubba, they can't afford to subscribe to your YouTube.
It's free.
What?
When you go to YouTube, type in The Bubba Army, and then you go and you subscribe to it, and it doesn't cost you nothing.
Jacob Secca, 1,000 bits.
And it's important to us because then you get a notification when we go live and and we put a lot of stuff up on YouTube. Everything from Anna trying to do a skid steer to Lummy and the Goat Report to me doing various things from my chicken sandwich review. Oh, did Philip hear the shout out?
I believe he did, yes.
Did you talk to him?
I did not about that though, but he watches every single one. He is a subscriber to the YouTube channel and he gets notifications, so he watches them as soon as they come out.
Did he tell you to quit being so uptight?
Yeah, he always does.
Did he tell you, about that one thing I asked him to talk to you about?
No, he did not.
All right, you don't even know what I'm talking about.
No, I do not.
The ban, which takes in effect September 15th, includes some exceptions. Abortions will be permitted in cases of rape and incest before 10 weeks post-fertilization.
So up to 10 weeks.
So hold on. Does that mean that you can get an abortion?
It's 2.5 months.
If you weren't raped or incest?
Yes.
Before 10 weeks?
Yes. These are all ands,
Oh. Well, then, okay. I mean, it's not
it includes
completely.
This and this and this. Yeah.
It's not complete. The bad thing about 10 weeks is this, though. The average person probably doesn't know they're pregnant until about 5 or 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Because you missed a period.
which
And a lot of people are irregular.
So should
or
you
just fat.
So girls in Indiana are irregular and fat.
Oh, there you go.
So what I'm saying is, like, the minute that you miss your period, should you take a pee-stick test if you live in Indiana? And you might want to get this taken care of, because if it goes past 10 weeks, they can't do it.
Yeah, I mean, if that's what you're worried about, then yes, you got to be on top of it.
Wait, I'm reading that it says it's the bill bans abortions at 0 weeks except for those rules.
The bill, which takes effect September 15th, includes some exceptions. Abortions will be permitted in cases of rape and incest, before 10 weeks post-fertilization.
That's an exception to protect the life and physical health of the mother is an exception, and if the fetus is diagnosed with a lethal anomaly.
So you can't just go get an abortion.
No, if you knock up some
Okay.
chick in a college,
then you can't just go get an abortion.
Yeah, no, those are the only exceptions.
Hold on, but if it's before 10 weeks, can you just go get an abortion?
No.
If you've been raped or part of an incest, yeah.
Oh, so it's just not boy and
I mean,
girl.
according to what you just read, then no.
Are you sure?
I'm reading right now. It says the bill bans abortion at 0 weeks.
Yeah.
With narrow exceptions for rape, incest,
Yeah,
fatal,
Bubba
fetal.
just said the only exception if you're raped or incest and before 10 weeks. So if it's rape or incest and it's after 10 weeks, you have to have it.
See the semicolon? I screwed it up, Bubs.
I was relying on your
Yeah,
intellect,
no, I'm
too.
sorry. I'm sorry. So the comma
And
there
Jay
is.
didn't correct it, so I thought Jay was co-signing.
Yeah, well, it's new to everybody. So the cases of rape and incest before 10 weeks. So the rape and incest, if it's like week 11, rape incest, too bad, you have to have it.
The one thing I disagree with what Blitz said is you have to have it. No, you don't. You can go to a different state.
You go to Ohio.
you don't
Well,
have to
we're
have
talking
it.
about in Right. Indiana.
I understand
Right,
that,
in
but I mean,
Indiana.
that's the whole argument. Is like, oh my God, she's going to have to have the baby. No,
I
she's
have
not.
firsthand knowledge
She's
of that,
not going
Jay.
to have the
I drove
baby. She
clear
may
to-
have to travel somewhere.
I did.
And that's, I mean, I'm so sorry for saying that, but that's, I mean, when everyone
not.
says it's outlawing things, it is in that state.
I borrowed my friend's car and went to East St. Louis,
If that person
Illinois.
wants to go to a different state, they can go to California and do it all the way through
No,
the
you
third
can go to
trimester.
Illinois. You can go to Illinois.
Yeah, Illinois got late term abortion.
Hello. If I'm Illinois, man, I put that right on the state line. Like as you're getting into Illinois, you're on I-70 and you're driving.
And I don't
west.
agree with that law, by the way.
That's very bizarre. The rape and incest before 10 weeks, as if to say, well, if the kid,
Arbitrarily, yeah.
if it's a product of incest, you can get rid of it. Like it's still a life. It's just very strange that they're making those lines in the sand.
now, can
like
I-
it wasn't your fault if it was rape. So,
But hold on. With regards to incest,
Yeah.
isn't that a very much risky thing that the child might be
it depends who banged who. If it's someone who is in your immediate family, like a mother, a father, or a sibling,
like Tara, if I
that's a
blasted Tara.
problem. If you bang your first cousin, you're probably going to be just fine. I mean, there's issues.
Statement of the Bubba the
No,
Love Sponge
genetically
show.
speaking, that's enough of a removal. You only share about an eighth of the same genes. You'll probably be fine. When you start sharing half of the same genes, then you start running into problems. Yeah, like when you look at the English royal family with like hemophilia, and they would just bleed out when they'd get a cut. Like that's because the siblings were banging each other.
On the royal family?
Yes.
Well, why can they do it and we can't?
Well, they outlawed it after a while when they figured out what they were doing.
So as long as it's just your cousin, it's okay.
First cousin, you should be fine.
I always had the hots for my first cousin,
Well,
Amy.
there you go.
Amy Ayler. Remember when she was 15?
Yes,
used
I
to
remember
Listen to
vividly.
her and her boyfriend Paul banging out.
Yes,
And I was like 11. I was like, oh God, Amy is so pretty. But Tara, on the other hand, we would probably have a bad, probably have a.
Probably have
That's not cool. A girl is a victim of incest. You don't find out about it till
She may not be a victim. I mean, she may wanted
Okay.
it to happen because she
But-
wanted to bang her brother.
Nonetheless,
Dad.
you're putting that child at risk. And if it's after 11 weeks, sorry, but you got to have the kid.
That is just such a strange exception. Like,
Now this is Logan Paul.
Mm-hmm. My son showed this to me the other day, and I didn't want to like it but the kid's a super athlete. You watch this and tell me how many guys can do this and if he has a future. Because I consider you an authority on WWE stuff.
Pop a splash from the third rope.
Don't do it! Please look in the eye. Look how big he is.
Well, I will tell you this, man. He knows how to work the crowd too.
Yeah, he's pretty big. I saw him in person once.
He's got great timing. He's got great outside the ring skills. He's got great audience. That's a pretty big high spot.
No, he'll do some backflips. A lot of other footage of this kid.
That's a pretty big high spot.
Backflips off the ground. I mean, this kid is a super athlete. So he's the one that's actually had some real fights against some real boxers. Granted, they were all washed up at the time he fought them, but he's stood in the ring with some real people.
Isn't he worth a ton of money?
Absolutely.
yeah.
They both are. He and his brother.
They moved to Puerto Rico.
Why?
Did he do the 6 months a year?
Taxes.
Yeah, 6
Yeah,
months
he
a year.
moved
They're
from
so
California
smart.
to Puerto Rico.
Oh,
if you live there more than 6 months a year, there's
Tracy
enormous
Smith
tax
has been
benefits.
looking at the urgency of the issue and explains how.
Supposedly in Nevada, you can't have grass anymore. You can't. I mean, it's there.
The changing climate.
Because you have to water the grass.
In Las Vegas, Nevada, it's come to this. Around here, climate change has helped make water even more scarce. So under a new Nevada law, the grass has got to go.
When we look at outdoor water use in southern Nevada, landscaping far and away is the largest water user, and of that, it's grass.
The city's already pulled up about 4 million square feet of grass on public property so far this year.
Don't even get me started on this one. This is like, I mean,
What, a kid's
going to
play in the gravel?
Or maybe
because thirsty green parkways are something they just can't.
Again,
So
Jay,
the green
is this
policies
another? Is just another woke snowflake deal?
Yeah, the green policies in Nevada are so good from the last 10 or 15 years that we don't have enough water for grass. That's what they have to restrict water now, that you can't have residential or commercial grass. That's ridiculous.
How you have a golf course?
That'll be gone next.
Anymore, says Bronson Mack of the Las Vegas Water
This guy looks happy.
So this grass behind you is going. The grass that you see behind me is not long for this world. In fact, within the next couple of months to a year, this grass will be completely eliminated and it'll be replaced with drip irrigated trees and plants.
Possible broken spring.
Looks like this guy's really like this is his lifelong mission.
Yeah. Look, my whole thing with like green stuff is two. One, does it reduce pollution? And two, does it make energy cheaper for people? Costa Rica is one of the most green countries in the world. They have windmills all over the place. Power's more expensive than here. Gasoline's more expensive than here. Everywhere they invoke these green policies, what happens is there's a scarcity of the natural resources that we like fossil fuel, which is required to make batteries and required to make electric vehicles. And so in Costa Rica, there's not one electric vehicle that I saw in a week. Not one. And it's never going to happen in my lifetime that there's going to be an electric grid there. The power goes out once every 3 days because it's so unreliable based upon wind and solar in a country that has nothing but wind and sun.
But the surfing's good as hell.
It sure is.
Counts. So water.
Water patrol. Look at that.
Hey, Blitz, I just got to come get up in your face.
There you go. Waste investigators, also known as water cops, patrol the neighborhoods, taking note of whose water.
I'd have a spray hose and I'd drench his car as he went by.
I did a water ticket
Watering
once for my
when
father.
and how-
What?
Remember they had restrictions here? You could only water on Tuesday or Thursday. Yeah. My dad was, I guess, caught watering one the other day, and so I had to go to water court.
Jay.
I won.
Jay. Steady Joe. Hey, I got to take this guy over here. Wrote me a water ticket. I need you to defend me.
And the guy was like so happy to do it.
Down the drain. Living through the summer of 22.
Sir, you know why I pulled you over? Because your sprinkler's hitting the sidewalk. Oh, don't bust me up, buddy.
Has made climate change harder to deny, whether here in Bone
Look at
Dry,
those yards.
Nevada, or in the Caribbean,
desert.
where
There's no
rampant
green.
seaweed growth is choking beaches,
Choking my pond, too.
or Kentucky, where too much water created a tragedy
Oh, Jesus, too much, not enough, too much, not enough, flooding, dry.
that's still unfolding. But it seems there are still
Now, how can climate change be blamed on flooding?
No, there are.
That's completely
Because the
opposite.
big storms. that
There
are
are
going through.
scientists and meteorologists who will tell you that there has been no increase in the amount of natural disasters in the last 20 years. And I don't know if you know this, but over the last 15 years, the most reduction in carbon emissions from any civilized country comes from the United States of America in the last 15 years. And so we're like self-loathing ourselves, thinking we have to do all these different things. We're already making huge changes. And the biggest change was from traditional fossil fuel to propane, which is, so much cleaner when you run things on propane. So natural gas was a game changer for the United States. We were energy independent 3 years ago.
I was a couple of the big
and now we're
windmills
not.
at the racetrack.
Windmills don't do anything.
They don't?
Then this new bill that they just passed, they're allowing, everyone said, oh, we don't want oil rigs out in the ocean. It's so ugly. Well, it worked. And so now they're going to put wind farms out in the ocean all over the Gulf of Mexico.
Chopping up birds.
Yeah, birds are done.
And I can tell you from looking at the mountains in Costa Rica, they look like crap with windmills on them. And if
Sure
you've ever
do.
gone through Denver, Colorado, or flown into Colorado and you see those windmill farms where
They're
about
everywhere.
1/3 aren't working.
Wait, what is it? Palm Desert?
It's Palm Springs, and
Palm
the way to Palm
Springs.
Springs. I
Oh,
mean,
God.
how many
Yeah.
were not working? It's like I
Yeah,
just was looking
yeah.
at them, going, "Is this for
and
real?"
and the best way to fix them is to blow them up, let them hit the ground, and then just build a new one.
Right, and I mean, the ones that are not working in Costa Rica just rust out.
Why don't
So you
they
have
work?
Because they don't work. It's 20-year-old technology,
Well,
put in 10 years ago, and it's terrible.
That and like if anything fails up top, that's like somewhat heavy. It's too heavy, too hard to fix them, so they just let them rot.
They don't have the infrastructure that we have here, and they don't even have the big equipment that we have here to try to get the equipment to the side of the mountain where they put that thing up 10 years ago. It's just not happening.
What about solar?
Solar they have solar farms that they're using there too, but solar farms are good when the light's on. As long as sun's out, it's good. The problem is that they don't have the battery technology yet to store the energy. And the battery materials come from China. And in order to make the batteries, we have to do it with fossil fuel. So it's like this whole big, where it's like we're cutting off our nose to spite our face to try to be more energy efficient and more green when we're already one of the most concerned countries in the world. And I'm a surfer. I want clean air. I want clean water. But I want policies that make things cheaper for people. If you're going to do green energy policies, it should be cheaper for people. Energy shouldn't go up. And that's the problem is our bills keep going up in Florida. Power bills,
Oh, man, our
water
power
bills,
bills are crazy.
gas bills.
Oh.
Trey said yesterday I was filling my tank up. He's learning how to drive, so I made him fill my car for the first time. Make sure he didn't just drive away with the thing in the
Your
pump.
son?
Yeah. And so he's like, gas prices are cheaper now, right, Dad? And I said, you must have been watching the news. Let's see how high it goes. $112 yesterday.
To fill up your car.
To fill up my truck. And it's just ridiculous because that hurts everybody. It used to be $54, maybe $58. And so if you're living on a tight budget, which a lot of people do, that is not tenable.
My smart car used to be 18 to fill up. Now it's almost 40.
Jesus.
It's unbelievable.
Isn't California having a big problem with their solar panels that they had to replace them all because they only lasted 20 years?
Exactly.
And there's nowhere to dump them now?
Exactly. They don't know how it's like toxic waste. Plus, the energy policies there have led to brownouts and blackouts. And so what do you do if you have a Tesla and your house is in a brownout or a blackout? Well, I guess you don't go to work. And I guess in California, that's cool because you don't really need to go in person. So I guess all of it doesn't really matter because it's just designed to make you sit at home and not do anything. That's what they want.
And get paid.
They want you to just not have to use planes and not have to use cars. And so you actually hear people saying, this is just us getting used to the transition.
Yeah, but you're not getting AC either while you're sitting in your house.
Exactly. And that used to be a fundamental reason why we loved the United
can't live
States
without
was
AC.
basic air conditioning and fuel
I
and
can't live
power
without
and clean water.
I can't live without AC and cheese.
I need peanut butter.
The Bubba Radio Network will return after this.
Mommy, why did that
Yeah.
TV turn? Oh, okay, never mind.
Is it back on? Yeah.
There's some hot chick on there doing some kind of stuff.
Can you imagine? If it came to that, we're trying to roll blackouts here, how hot it's been.
Oh my God, that's what they're They're talking about trying to make us transition to that shit. It doesn't work. It doesn't work reliably enough.
What was that country in South America? It's a law. You have to keep it at your air on 80.
Oh, I know. And then they have government watching it. You can't go below it.
Bubba would fucking.
Well, you see, like Sri Lanka, where 4 or 5 years ago it was one of the most prosperous countries in the world, and they changed all these energy policies, and they're just in Canada, where they're outlawing any kind of synthetic fertilizer, and that leads to food shortages.
Yep.
I know it, Flyboy. That's one of the reasons. Thank you, Lummies Chip. Good to be back.
Yeah. So Vice President.
Yeah, Texas is having problems of all things, Bubba, with power. You have more fossil fuel than any country probably in the United States.
But they got the wind technology.
How did I win in water court? My dad was actually checking his sprinklers at the time, and there was an exception for you're allowed to like service your sprinklers. And while I was there was another doctor in the house who knew my father and said, "Can you help me?" And I did, and I got him off to. What's up, Bubba Nash? Right. I mean, why you would go to wind energy in Texas doesn't make any sense to me.
Lummy, is that
Of course, Homer,
Mateo
the big
thing
baloney.
out?
Yeah, it came out like about a month and a half
No,
ago.
I could not find it on fucking Netflix. Are you sure just the trailer's out?
No, it came out like I believe at end of June.
No. I think you're wrong. Will you
Morning,
look up?
Seminole Snowman.
Will you look up?
Yeah, I'm looking it up now.
I just found out for real, Bubba, that Candle's got some Pocahontas blood in her.
For real?
For real.
Are you gonna get you a vig?
I don't know, but I told Trey about that. He's like, "What do you mean?" I said, if you have any like definable amount of blood in you, that's, you know, compensable. I just thought it was kind of cool. He's got more Native American in him than Elizabeth Warren does. Casino money, flyboy, exactly.
Casino money.
I want some of that. That's right. Was Pocahontas? Was it Cherokee Nation? I don't remember. It's one of the better, cooler, stronger Seminole or Indian tribes. One of the warrior tribes.
Powhatan tribe.
What's up?
That's what Powhatan tribe.
Rejuvenator helper?
J.
Say again?
Powhatan. Powhatam.
Oh, that's the nation?
That's the other tribe.
Okay. That's not the one I thought it was.
Are you thinking about the one that took Lewis and Clark?
Yeah.
That's who's that?
One big longer.
Saskatchewan. She was in the show shown.
Show shown?
Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan, yeah. What's up, Jay Bowler? Yeah, I mean, I agree, homie, but the problem with that is it's just going to keep going back and forth, and, you know, sometimes people have to actually pass laws that stick. It's on 11. How you doing? I'll do that. All gimmicked up. Just got to be. I'm just in the middle of war.
Ready and what's rush talk?
You know who I bet doesn't have to restrict their water use? Casinos.
Sovereign
I
land.
bet they can use whatever they want
And their golf courses.
for their fountains and all that stuff. You know, just think about that fountain, how much water is used there.
Outside Caesars?
Yeah, I went to Bellagio, right?
Yeah. Oh, it's all water there.
Caesars too, you're right. I haven't been there in so long. Do you know that? That's right, Snizuki Slayer. Loopholes for lobbyists. Hey, Boomer, I'm sure the water that they're using for the landscaping is not potable either. And if that's what you're saying, I agree with you. What's up, Mike? I hate when you use facts to support your arguments. Hope all's well with you.
Today's after show will only be heard on our podcasting forum. That's it. Anywhere you get podcasting, Apple, iTunes, iHeart, Spotify, doesn't matter. It's just search The Bubba Army and be a daily downloader. I think our podcasts get released every day at noon. So today at noon, you'll have a new one, which is what we're going to cut here in a few minutes. We get a little nasty, a little dirty.
It's fun.
There it is. Mm-hmm. Jay, thank you. We'll see you tomorrow as
My
well.
pleasure. See you tomorrow.
Lummy, you okay?
Yeah, great, Bubba. Thank you.
By the way, Bubba, Manti Te'o comes out next week.
Exactly. Thank you, Blitz.
Next Tuesday.
Thank you. I was right, Lummy. You were wrong.
Yeah, I was right. There's another good show you should watch that I recommended a couple weeks ago, The Terminal List.
It's not out.
The Terminal List.
No. The Mateo one.
I know. They had
Jackass.
I know.
Shut up.
Thanks for letting me finish. You've been listening to the Bubba the Love Sponge Show, starring
me, Bubba the Love Sponge,
operations manager and co-host Blitz K,
co-host and show historian Lummox,
co-host Anna Hummel,
co-host Dr. Dan Diaco, Esquire of Council,
co-host J. Diaco, Esquire, the Spitting Cobra of Council,
Rhett, the Filthy Ginger video editor,
the BRN agent Thomas Buttoned Up B,
and for everything else, go to thebubbaarmy.com.
Now, time for the legal disclaimer.
Exactly.
The Bubba the Love Sponge Show is intended solely for the enjoyment of our listening audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of this show without express written consent of the Bubba Radio Network is prohibited.
Never actually crossed the line and did something that was,
Until next time,
that's the thing.
always remember.
What do you consider? I mean, I might have crossed the line. No, I don't. I could consider crossing the line. You and I can have as much beef as we want. We never.